football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest.
Want to cozy up next to a natural gas fireplace after a chilly night at the ball field? Let ORUD help you with the play-by-play to truly make your house feel like a home.
ORUD can help you clean up after the game with the reliability of a natural gas water heater and the energy savings from a gas dryer.
Now it's your turn to be the champion of your team and score a touchdown with ORUD and natural gas, a winning combination. Go, Purple! Go, go! Go, go!
I'm alive.
On a wet and rainy October night, we welcome you to tonight's OEB Law Game of the Week on BBB TV and also streaming online. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. OEB Law has a passion to help people, and OEB has a great team of lawyers, paralegals, legal assistants, and support staff that knows what a car wreck or injury can do to a person. OEB knows that during that time, it is the worst time for a victim or of someone else's carelessness, so OEB's team works hard to help resolve their claims so that they can move on from that tragic event and focus on rebuilding and recovering their life with as much compensation as possible. That's OEB Law. For more information, visit wreckintoacheck.com. So, joined by my cohort, James Gibson, only 2 more regular season games remaining before another season of high school football's in the books.
I know. Time has really flown by this year. The season's moved along quickly, and excited for the playoffs.
Coalfield, Oliver Springs, they are separated by less than 5 miles, so this is a natural rivalry for the two programs.
It's a big one. These kids have been playing against each other since they were 4 and 5 years old, Aaron, so they love playing against each other, and they love earning those bragging rights.
Bragging rights, indeed. This has a deep and storied history for more reasons than one. We'll go over that a little bit more as we get into our pregame coverage, but we've also got to talk about a lot of things going on around the area as the season is winding down and playoff spots are up for grabs or have been grabbed. So we thank you again for joining us. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week on BBB TV.
Support community here.
Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com. It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. We're at DJ Britton Field in Oliver Springs for a natural rivalry between Oliver Springs and Coalfield. First, let's talk about some of the things going on around the area. So in 6 days, Powell played 2 games to help prove its supremacy in Region 3 5A. Last Friday, it was Westontown, which went to overtime, or which went for 2 in overtime, rather, and failed. So Powell prevailed 21-20. Last night, Powell trailed Oak Ridge 21-7 to start the fourth quarter. The Panthers scored 20 unanswered points in the final quarter, including 6 with 20 seconds left to come away with the 27-21 victory. How impressed are you with that 6-day stretch from Powell?
I'm very impressed. They are outscoring their opponents 344-113. So that offense is really putting up the numbers. That team has really came together and has won, and they're looking like a team to beat in 5A. I think they control their own destiny.
In Class 4A, Elizabethton knocked off Greenville in a tight one, 24-21. Greenville has always been that monkey on Elizabethton's back. Last night, they got it off of it, or last week, rather. The road to Cookeville for Anderson County will likely include one of these teams.
Yeah, and I know Anderson County is wanting to play Greenville bad after being put out by them in the last 2 years. Anderson County is a different team this year, and that will be a great matchup.
In another game, which was much closer than the final score indicated, Meigs County bested Oneida 24-3. That game was 8-3 to start the second quarter. Actually, 8-3 to start the fourth quarter. What's your biggest takeaway from that one?
Well, to me, that says a lot about Oneida. They have a really tough defense, and they play mistake-free offense. And that's their program in a nutshell. They'll play anyone, anywhere. Meigs has a lot of speed, and they can score in bunches, so they will go deep in the playoffs. I really look for them to keep on trucking.
On another note, last week, Wartburg's playoffs hopes were dashed by a 35-0 shutout at the hands of Rockwood. John Webb has a week off to prepare for Cumberland Gap, which is the region opponent next. Basically, a third seed is on the line in that game. So Rockwood did what Rockwood does, has been lately, kind of started out slow to the season, but has come on strong to end the year.
They kind of limped to the end of the season, and I think they might have got a couple players back from injury. And when John Webb has some pieces to the puzzle, he can beat about anybody.
Folks, look at that rain. It is really coming down here at DJ Britton Field in Oliver Springs, and I got some news for you. It's going to continue to do that, so fans in the stands are going to get wet as you see the camera pan. Look at the lights. Look at that rain coming down. Just walking to the press box like you did, you got soaked. So it's going to be a wet one here tonight, and we will talk about what kind of factors that could have into our game tonight when we get back. Again, our game broadcast is brought to you by OEB Law. For more information, you can call 865-546-1111 or go to recintoacheck.com for more information. It's a wet one on our OEB Law Game of the Week.
You guys support community here.
Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com. It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
And welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week pre-game coverage. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson along with you. We're at DJ Britton Field, and it is raining cats and dogs is the cliche that I'm going to use here.
That's about the only thing you can say. It's probably going to be a swamp out there tonight.
And it's going to keep doing this. So the players all across East Tennessee, because this is affecting the entire state of Tennessee. This isn't just here. It's not, in our little bubble. It's not just East Tennessee. It's the entire state of Tennessee that is getting covered in this system, and it is going to rain until the morning comes. So all games will be wet messes tonight. So maybe we're glad that we can bring this to you while you're in the comfort of your own living room or wherever you are. But we are happy nonetheless to be able to be here and cover a high school football game tonight. As you take a look at the area schedule for tonight, Gatlinburg-Pittman goes to Alcoa. Gatlinburg-Pittman, Alcoa, both one-loss teams. but
yeah.
Okay.
A little misleading.
Yeah, so anyway, Morristown West is at Bearden, Campbell County's at Clinton, Jellicoe goes to Cosby, Science Hill at Dobbins-Bennett, Howard at East Ridge, Sullivan South at Elizabethton, Carter at Gibbs, Midway at Greenback, Granger at Greenville, Oakdale at Harriman, Ray County at Carnes, Knox West at Knox Fulton, CAK at Grace, McMinn County at Maryville, Polk County at Meigs County, Cott County at Morristown East, South Pittsburgh at Sell Creek, Halls at Sevier County, Central at South Doyle, Sweetwater at Tellico Plains, Sullivan Central at Union County, Sunbrights at Wartburg, and Cleveland is at William Blunt. We've also got a battle of unbeatens tonight, which this late in the season is pretty special. McMinn County plays Maryville, and both teams sit at 8-0. But it's Maryville. Are you giving McMinn County much of a chance tonight?
Hey, it's Friday night. Anything can happen, but no. Maryville wins this by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
So as this is week 10 out of 11 weeks, some playoff pictures are getting set already. Some are set and some are coming down to the wire, and so we'll go over some region standings for you. We'll start out with Class Single A in Region 1, Cloudland, Hancock County, Jellicoe, and Unaka. That's how they sit. So Cloudland is
having a down year a little bit.
Yeah, at Cloudland, just 3-5 overall in the year, but the #1 seed in that region, and that's pretty normal for them. In Region 2, Class 1A, this is the region that we will see tonight. You see Greenback up there, #1. They have defeated both of these two teams we see tonight handily. Now, this game right here between Coalfield and Oliver Springs, and we'll talk more about this a little bit later, will be for a home playoff game. The winner of this game will get that #2 seed. That's why this one is so important.
That's huge. It's not only huge for the schools, but for the communities as well.
Yeah, you see Midway and Harriman there at 4-5. Harriman defeated Midway to keep their playoff hopes alive, so that one is going down to the wire as well. So in Region 1 Class 2A, we've got South Green, Happy Valley, Hampton, Sullivan North, and Cosby sitting down there at #5. Region 2 Class 2A, Meigs County is the king of that one, followed by Oneida, Rockwood, Cumberland Gap, and Wartburg. And again, that Cumberland Gap-Rockwood game will determine that #3 seed. So, and Region 1 Class 3A, you got Chucky Doak, Unicoi County, Johnson County, West Green, North Green, and Claiborne. Region 2, Class 3A, Alcoa, #1, like they always are. Austin East, Gatlinburg-Pittman. See, Gatlinburg-Pittman sitting there at 7-1 has had a fantastic year, but unfortunately they haven't played the big dogs just yet, as they did play Austin East, were defeated, and that's why Austin East is sitting ahead of Gatlinburg-Pittman, and they play Alcoa tonight.
GP has boosted a lot of money into that football program. They've got new fields and new locker rooms. They've turned that around.
And Kingston had a rough start to the season, but the Yellow Jackets have since turned it around, 6-3 overall.
I never would have thought that was going to be possible after watching in the first couple ball games. But they learned from their mistakes, and they've been playing some pretty good football.
Hats off to Coach Brian Pankey and that crew. So Region 1, Class 4A, this is the one we talked about, Elizabethton, Sullivan South. Look at Greenville sitting there at #3.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw that?
I mean, it's been a while.
It has. But don't let it fool you, because I'm pretty sure Greenville will beat Sullivan South. Okay. So Elizabethton there standing strong. They're always, the Cyclones are always one of the top programs in East Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
And 4A, so no surprise.
So Region 2, Class 4A, this is where you get Anderson County pretty much running the table in that region like everyone thought they would. 8-1 overall. Only loss in the season was to Powell, which is now 9-0 after that victory last night against Oak Ridge. So Anderson County representing East Tennessee in Class 4A very well, and we expect the Mavericks to make a deep run into the playoffs here in a couple weeks. So in Region 2, Class 5A, you've got Knox Central, followed by South Doyle, which just got its workhorse back. Elijah Young.
Aaron, he's the real deal. And, I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the best running backs in the Southeast, definitely instead of Tennessee.
Yeah, and South Doyle had to do without him for a couple games, but now he's back. So then you've got Knox Halls and Gibbs there. So, but Central is absolutely the team to beat in that region. And then here is such a great region. Powell, Knox West, Oak Ridge, and Fulton, which started out the season 0-5, 0-6.
Yeah, but they've won 2 in a row. That's huge for the Fulton program because they're a young bunch. I believe they were returning 2 starters from last year's team. So that's a good run for that Fulton team to learn from their mistakes early in the year.
Let's take a moment now to join our national anthem. And that is the Oak Ridge, that is the Oliver Springs Marching Band performing that wonderful rendition of our national anthem. And you could hear, when we went to the national anthem, you could hear that rain just coming down hard on these metal bleachers.
Yeah, it's really raining hard. And on the Oliver Springs sideline, it looks like they've got about an inch of water. So it's wet.
It's almost game time here at Oliver Springs at DJ Britton Field, and so we've got a game to preview when we get back. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases, all at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes. People.
And welcome back to Oliver Springs. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson with you. We've got a ball game to go over here. Coalfield, Oliver Springs, two schools who played each other for a long time. In fact, legend has it that Coalfield's first football program was born to keep student athletes from transferring to Oliver Springs to play football in the 30s. The schools are connected by the winningest coach in Coalfield history, Gary Chris, who was a Bobcat in high school. And if that's not enough, a section of highway 62 that divides the two schools is named in memory after Aaron Brady Walls, a young man who started his football career at Coalfield before transferring to Oliver Springs. He died tragically before finishing up his high school career in 2002. So this game tonight has aptly been named the Brady Bowl. So these two teams have been separated by classification for many years, but that changed last go around, and now they're natural and region rivals. And if you haven't heard enough to convince you that tonight's game is a big one, the winner of this game gets a home game in the playoffs. How's that for important?
That's huge for both of these programs, as both of these communities go all out for home playoff games. So it's a big home field advantage that I can't stress enough. We're going to have an absolute ball game here tonight.
Now, Oliver Springs is going to spread Coalfield out, rely on Trey Boswell and that ground attack. Coalfield will line up in a more traditional set and will put a majority of the work on senior quarterback Peyton McKinney, who leads his team in rushing on top of throwing for more than 1,000 yards this season. This one's going to be fun from an X's and O's standpoint.
Yeah, both of these coaches are good X and O's coaches, but Oliver Springs is a little more one-sided on the offensive side of the ball, electing to run the ball around almost 70% of the time. And having over 1,500 yards rushing this year. And Coalfield is a little more balanced. They have 1,300 yards passing and around 1,200 yards rushing. So Oliver Springs will be running the ball a lot.
Now, Coalfield is more balanced with 1,300 yards passing, 1,200 rushing. But the leading rusher for this Coalfield team is the quarterback, Peyton McKinney. So McKinney's thrown for 8 touchdowns this season, and Oliver Springs quarterback Blake Crace has thrown for 7. So, I mean, that's not really a lot. That's less than 1 per game for Oliver Springs and exactly 1 per game for Coalfield. Is it fair to assume tonight's game will be an old-school game of field position and trench warfare?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It sure is, because I look for both these squads to really run the football and try to control the clock, and they're both run-heavy type teams, so really look for that.
Well, they're run-heavy type teams, and also it is absolutely pouring outside. So what does that do to an offensive strategy?
You run the football.
You run the football.
Exactly. It's a lower percentage play of turnovers, so you run the football.
Okay, so an offensive player has an advantage against a defensive player because an offensive player knows where he's going, whereas a defensive player has to try to anticipate where an offensive player is going. So
you could make that argument both ways. I'm a defensive guy.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
It's equal playing field out here when the rain's coming, because you can have a wide receiver slip the ball, fumble the ball. So, hey, it goes both ways. So these teams are going to be fired up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So the offensive player knows where he's going, but with a wet field, that would kind of turn the table a little bit.
It would, and then you have a wet ball that is being thrown to a wide receiver. So it goes both ways. Both teams can't really advantage from a wet field.
Now, you kind of can look at a forecast a little bit. You can anticipate maybe weather a little bit, but it changes from day to day. Do the coaches throughout the week, do they look at that and say, hey, this could be a wet game on Friday?
Oh, yeah, I guarantee you both of these teams have practiced multiple times this year in the rain, as every high school program and college program does throughout the country. So they've got some experience in it, but it doesn't matter. It's still Friday night, and you're playing one of your biggest rivals. And for a home playoff game.
So do you normally have a dry football field plan and a wet football field plan? Because that is, as we see, let's look at the coin toss here. And then I'll ask my question to you. So Coalfield has won the toss. They have elected to receive the football. So Coalfield will get this football first in our OEB Law Game of the Week. So, again, do coaches kind of put together a kind of a wet field plan and a dry field plan?
Well, you prepare for everything, Aaron. These coaches stay up all night long, Monday through Sunday, preparing for these types of games. So they've got situations for everything, and they'll practice that all the way from early in the spring till now. So they'll be comfortable whatever they're doing. They just got to have limited mental mistakes and do not turn the ball over.
Do you scout for that as well? Do you go back to maybe when one of these teams had a wet game and kind of see tendencies or try to find tendencies from these coaches on the wet field?
Oliver Springs is going to do what Oliver Springs does. I don't care if there's 3 inches of water on the field. They're going to run that football. And that's what they do. So Coalfield, their game plan could be impacted a little bit depending on McKinney if he's got a good grip on the ball. But look for them to continue to throw the ball down the field a little bit. But Oliver Springs, that type of game plan that Oliver Springs has, it is a little more favorable in this type of conditions.
All right, so as we get closer to the game starting, What are the keys for both teams?
For Olive Springs, they have got to have success in the run game and limit Coalfield's passing attack while playing smart football. Coalfield has to let McKinney take several shots down the field to open the running lanes. They've got to win in the kicking game and limit Olive Springs' big runs.
So there you have it. Coach James Gibson laying it for you, what both teams have to do to win this football game. To kick it off for Oliver Springs, it is Casey Thomas, a senior on this team. And back deep to receive for Coalfield, you've got one, Peyton McKinney, and also Jacob Bunch, both seniors on this Coalfield football team. Playoff standings on the line. Here's the kick. It is a crazy spiral. Lands at about the 24-yard line, and it is taken by an upback for Coalfield. That's Hayden West. And West, with a great return, gets it up to about the 43-yard line, and that's where the Yellow Jackets will start this drive.
Not many kick return attempts for Hayden West. He's had 3 for 24, so add another one to that. That ain't too bad.
His previous 3 have taught him what to do when he does get the football, though.
Pretty good strategy by Olive Springs, too. Try to kick a high ball to a lesser experienced player on the kickoff return team, hoping for a turnover. So it's a pretty good strategy.
That was an interesting kick. It spiraled on its side.
It was a hard one to catch, really. That's a high percentage for a turnover right there.
So here comes McKinney, lines up in a shotgun, sends a man in motion already. That's Van Witzenberg. And McKinney's just going to keep it going around the right side. Gets up across the midfield, up to Oliver Springs' 45, down at about the 41-yard line, and that immediately is a Hammers 1st and 10.
And as you stated earlier, you know, Peyton McKinney is their leading rusher. He has 64 attempts for 438 rushing yards with a long of 39 and 10 rushing touchdowns with an average of 6.8 yards per carry.
Basically, Coalfield's offense relies on the success of Peyton McKinney.
Well, it seems like that wasn't too long ago that was his older brother.
Sure enough. So McKinney sends Isaac Van Witzenberg in motion again. Handoff this time. Falls on the ground. It is picked up, going the other direction for Oliver Springs with nobody on him. And that looks like Landon Gallion. Touchdown, Bobcats.
What a play. And turnovers already having a major impact on this game, and he just busted it for a big, big play.
That is a 57-yard fumble return for a score, and Oliver Springs is on the board first.
That's devastating for Coalfield, but this Coalfield bunch is a very well-coached program. They're going to come back and respond pretty well here.
So Casey Thomas on to attempt the extra point.
Watch the snap and the hold. In this rainy conditions, you could have any kind of craziness go on.
Oliver Springs, a player short. Quarterback Blake Crace, who is the holder, signals for another player to come on, and they do, but there is a flag. Now, if this is on Oliver Springs, which I would anticipate it is, no. It's an offsides on Coalfield. That moves you up to the 1.5-yard line. You think about going for it here.
We see on the replay here, yeah, he just lost the ball. It's wet. You can see the wet on the ball as he's running down the field. What a play by number 32 of Oliver Springs. And if I'm Oliver Springs, I've got a all-state punter and a very decent kicker here. I'm kicking the ball. I'm getting some points.
All right. So Casey Thomas in to attempt the extra point. It is blocked. Coming around the side, that is Peyton McKinney. Gets some hands on it, and so Oliver Springs can't capitalize, but they do get the fumble return for a touchdown, as we see on the replay here. McKinney just comes in.
Blocked it with a shin.
He got it.
Hey, he got
it. Any way you can
Coalfield
get
responded, you know.
So Bobcats lead it 6-0 to start this one in our OEB Law Game of the Week. That
Greg joined the military to serve his country and fight for freedom. He was a dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle. But none of that mattered to the speeding driver who was texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law 546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
So back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, Oliver Springs quickly out in front 6-0 in this one off the turnover. And Thomas is in to kick this one off. So here's the kick. This one is another spiral on its side. Hits the turf before Peyton McKinney picks it up at about the 26-yard line. McKinney trying to break free around the right sideline. Arm tackled that time. And it looked like Gallion on the tackle. Correction, not Gallion. That's Caleb Barnett. And McKinney gets it out to about the 41-yard line. So Coalfield, again, will have really good starting field position.
They do, and they're going to take advantage of it here with that big, strong offensive line. And Peyton McKinney on the return team, he's got seven returns, 116 yards, with a long of 58 with an average of 16.6. This kid can do it all.
So Coalfield lining up for its second possession of the game. Power set, handoff, Seth Lau tackled in the backfield for a loss.
Big penetration by the Oliver Springs defensive line, getting just really shedding blocks really well from that Coalfield offensive line. Coalfield's going to have to keep their shoulder pads lower to the ground and really start to get a push.
So 10:45 left to go in this one. Coalfield behind the sticks on the second offensive possession, as we see on this replay. And for Oliver Springs, it was Jacob Jones getting into the backfield and getting that tackle on Lau. McKinney, here's the snap, handoff. Lau again trying to get around the right side and gets possibly to the original line of scrimmage, and he's tackled.
Looked like a fumble on the play.
And the ball comes out again, and Oliver Springs has it.
2 fumbles for Coalfield. That is devastating, and this Oliver Springs crowd is going crazy. We've got a ball game here. We kind of expected some turnovers. I didn't expect this many, especially two drives.
I tell you what, Tim Elrod is up here in the press box with us of OEB Law, and I asked him before the game how many turnovers tonight. We both did, and he said 10, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to be that much. Less than 2 minutes into this game, we've got 2. So Mr. Elrod might be on to something.
He might know a little thing or two here.
So Oliver Springs' first possession, breaking free, going down the left sideline is Boswell, and he gets out to about the 10-yard line. And I think Oliver Springs is going to have a Hammers first and goal.
You can't say enough about Boswell. He is one of the better running backs in this area, especially in single-A football. He's big, he's strong. Look at him. Really good field vision, but that Oliver Springs offensive line caved in the Coalfield defensive line, and they're going to have to make some corrections in a hurry. So Oliver Springs is fired up, but looks like a penalty.
We did have a flag on the play, so that brings the ball back to the 39-yard line. So
had to be a holding.
Yeah, so actually Oliver Springs is going to have a 1st and 6, which is an odd first and downage.
Oliver Springs coming out in 20 personnel.
Crace handoff around the left sideline.
He's running hard.
He is running hard to pick up about 4 for Landon White.
He made something out of nothing there. He really kept his feet churning forward, and he fell forward, picking up some tough yardage there.
So Oliver Springs in 2 offensive plays electing to run off left tackle both times.
Well, have you seen the left side of that offensive line? I would run that way too. There are a bunch of grown men over there.
Now that is the boundary side of the field. We'll see if they continue to go that way. 2nd and 4, Crace handoff. Going right this time is Boswell.
Again, hard running by Boswell. He ran into a clog that time. Coalfield's defensive line did a really good job of getting really low, keeping their shoulder pads low to the ground, which caused a little bit of a pile up there, which is good defense.
Very close to the sticks. In fact, they are going to call this a Hammers 1st and 10 as the officials are telling the chain gang to move. I don't know if they could see them through all of those raindrops, however.
This is a game that you always wanted to play in as a player. It's not hot anymore. You get out here and you get to bang heads in some wet atmosphere. This is what you play high school football for.
Playing in the rain. Crace draws Coalfield off sides, but we will see if someone from Oliver Springs jumped.
You got to have a leader on that defense. Usually it's your inside linebacker. They've got to be able, chirping around, hey, watch that ball, watch the ball. That was one of my biggest pet peeves as a defensive line coach was, hey, you're right on top of the ball. Look at it. There's no excuse for you to jump off sides. Hey, I like the aggression, but calm down a little bit.
1st and 5 for Oliver Springs. So the Bobcats have had a 1st and 6 and a 1st and 5. Crace, handoff. Boswell, right side, gets across the 25 down to about the 24-yard line. Picked up a couple, maybe 3 on that play.
And 89, Daniel Shaw in on the tackle, and he's listen to these numbers right here, Aaron. He's had 106 total tackles, 11 solos, 4 tackles for loss. He's got 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles. Look at this.
Is monster.
That's monster. That's a good football player right there, guys. He will have an impact on this game.
2nd and 1 for the Bobcats, and now Crace lines up in the shotgun formation with a single back. It's Boswell. 2 wide receivers on either side. Snap. Boswell up the middle, just trying to get enough for the 1st down, and I believe he's going to be really close.
Pulled the guard. Coalfield defensive line doing a good job getting some penetration there.
So 3rd and 1 as Boswell picked up, just looked like a few inches. Three-back set now. Crace, handoff. Boswell grinding, loses a yard. It will be 4th down now and 2.
Big play for Coalfield there. They really was able to contain him back inside. And Boswell isn't going to beat a lot of teams on the outside. He's a big, strong, power back type of guy. And you see Coalfield stringing the play out, getting some good penetration, shedding some blocks. Like we said, guys, this is a fired-up bunch on this field. They love playing each other. Hate losing to each other.
And now Oliver Springs in a position where they have to go for it. The Bobcats are not in field goal range, and a punt here doesn't do you much good.
Spreading the field out a little bit more.
And Boswell comes out of the game, and now in the backfield is Lane Lee. So here's Crace, hands off to Lee. Lee trying to find yardage up the middle, does. Gets down to about the 21-yard line, and that should be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10, but we will see.
1st down.
Indeed it is.
Oliver Springs has 3 really good running backs. Boswell taking the lead there, but I think they've got 3 running backs with over 200 yards of rushing on the year, which is pretty impressive.
Lane Lee.
And they don't do nothing fancy, guys. They line it up, try to run right at you. Say, hey, you going to stop it or we going to score?
And when you've got Landon White and Trey Boswell in the backfield, and here's White trying to find some room up the middle, not much there. But when you've got 2 backs of that size, 2 power backs, you can do that.
You can, and they've got a big offensive line. These guys are big for single-A football. Coalfield normally has got the hog mollies over there for single-A football, and Oliver Springs, as of late under Larry Green, has really been having some success with the offensive defensive lines here at Oliver Springs.
Now, you mentioned Coach Green. He was the middle school football coach for a lot of these kids when they were in middle school, and they won championship after championship.
And they're doing a lot of similar stuff. So this is language that they know. Look at this run. He is still – now what's dangerous in that situation, I know he's fighting for extra yardage, but you got to be careful because Coalfield is going to be swapping at that football. You don't want to turn over.
Boswell picked up 3 on that play, maybe 2. Looks like 3rd and about 7 as the ball spotted just inside the 20-yard line at about the 19. So a 3rd down play for Oliver Springs. If you're just joining us, Coalfield on its first 2 possessions fumbled both times.
Trips to the far side of the field.
Empty backfield now for Crace. Crace just gets the snap off with 2 on the play clock. Here is a throw over the head of his intended target. That time it's Bailey Russell. And now here another 4th down for Oliver Springs.
You hate incompletions, but at that time it probably worked out best because if he'd have threw that on target, it looked like Peyton McKinney was in pretty good position to intercept that ball. Yeah, if he would have threw that on target, that's an interception there, potential interception.
Potentially, yeah.
Empty formation again, trips to the far side.
I'd say this ball's going to the end zone.
And look for a quarter. Yeah, possible. Look for a
man in motion. That's Boswell. Crace fakes the handoff. Now he will run left. Got some blockers, not enough though, but he's still on his feet.
Effort.
Blake Crace. We're going to have to see where this is spotted.
He's close, real close, and it was a second effort that got it.
There to make the play was Anthony Foster for Coalfield, but Crace made a couple of extra moves and
first down. What a job by
Blake Crace. Watch this. So Foster's there trying to make a play.
Corner came up, did his job, did a good job, didn't wrap up. Lost a play, second effort, picked it up.
So Foster actually collides with Dawson Nitschke, and that helps Crace get the little bit of extra yardage that he needs. And now we have a Hammers first and goal as the ball is on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Oliver Springs, I mean, he is a very good hard runner. His thighs look like he lives in the weight room. So he's a hard guy to tackle.
So Oliver Springs wants to take a timeout, see what they're going to do in their final 4 plays of this drive potentially. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
And welcome back to Oliver Springs. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson for the OEB Law Game of the Week. OEB Law can turn your wreck into a check. Any wreck, big or small, can turn your life upside down with bills, inconvenience, lost wages, and stress. OEB knows that, knows you need a check to compensate for those losses and help get you back to normal. For more information, again, go to wreckintoacheck.com. So here's Oliver Springs with the Hammers first and goal. Crace has Boswell in the backfield, 2 wide receivers on either side. Sends a man in motion, fakes the handoff. Crace is going to keep it. Tries to get over right tackle, nothing there.
Coalfield doing a good job shedding blocks, making a secure tackle.
And Oliver Springs just trying a little misdirection there. Coalfield not fooled. Was that a read?
It looked like a zone read option play. I just caught the very ending of it there. But that's what they do. Oliver Springs runs the ball. They run some zone read option, a little bit of power option every now and again. So they're a very good running program.
Now Crace will go under center with 3 backs of the backfield. That is a power formation. Crace with a bootleg throws to the back of the end zone. That pass is caught out of bounds, however.
Close play. Close play. I like the play call. The linebackers and safeties were thinking run. They were really close to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback made a decent throw, just out of bounds.
Tight end Ty Lamance was the intended target there. And you can see on this replay, yeah, he's definitely out of bounds.
Close, though. It was a close play.
It was a good play design.
Yeah, good play. Quarterback did a good job rolling out, squaring up his shoulders and making a decent throw. It had a chance.
So now we have another 3rd down.
Same formation.
And it's a pitch to Boswell, and the ball's on the ground. Boswell falls on it. 3rd fumble of the game, except Oliver Springs doesn't cough it up like Coalfield has twice.
Yeah, the pitch was a little bit behind him, and if you've got a wet, soggy ball, that spells disaster. You got to be on target with your pitches.
Definitely.
Back shoulder when you're running that direction. That's a hard ball to catch.
Good calls. We see that on the replay. All right, so now Oliver Springs with another 4th down. This is the 3rd 4th down of this drive. They have converted the first 2. If they convert this one, it will have to be a touchdown.
I like going empty here and do some sort of a quarterback run. I'm not throwing the football.
Well, they're almost empty, but Boswell's in the background. And here is a throw to the back of the end zone. That pass is caught.
Hey,
Touchdown, Bobcats!
Touchdown.
And that's Landon Gallion. And so Gallion has all 12 points of this game for Oliver Springs.
What a play call. You know, the quarterback, he's only thrown for 500 yards all year long, and you get down here against one of your biggest rivals, the biggest game of the year for Oliver Springs, in my opinion, and you throw a long pass.
Look at this replay. Wow, what a
back shoulder throw.
back shoulder throw.
I mean, come on.
That's
that's
beautiful.
Impressive. That is impressive.
So now Oliver Springs elects to go for 2. So Crace has White and Boswell in the backfield. Crace looks to throw, throws it over the middle. That pass is complete. What a throw. And that's just a slant to Landon Gallion. So now Gallion has all 14 points for Oliver Springs. Bobcats up in front 14-0.
Connor Johnson tried to take away the inside, and he did a good job with his body position early, but then he did get beat inside. Unfortunate play. He'll learn from that on film.
The Brady Bowl is off to a hot start for Oliver Springs. They lead this one 14-0.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back at Oliver Springs, Casey Thomas set to kick off. Thomas's team leads this one 14-0. Here's the kick. Another spiral like a rocket taken by McKinney at the 26. McKinney going to be stopped at the 28. What a tackle as McKinney's brought down by Bailey Russell.
Extracurricular.
And we've got, did you see a flag?
Yeah, they threw a flag, and it looked to be on McKinney of Coalfield. We'll see what they call.
Oliver Springs fired up. Here's the call. Personal foul on Coalfield. I didn't see the extracurriculars. We'll look on the replay and see. Look at Thomas's kickoff. You can't really see it because it's going so fast, but those things are missiles. Here's that tackle.
We'll see
Gallion,
here at the end
wow.
of the play. He was just holding on to him a little bit. Nothing flagrant too much right there. So, hey, it's high school football. It's Friday night. These two teams are fired up. Let's let them play a little bit.
That penalty, half the distance to the goal, will back the Yellow Jackets up to the 14-yard line. And here's McKinney in a major power set. Handoff goes to Seth Lau. Lau cross right tackle gets nothing on the Hammers 1st and 10.
Lau's got to be careful with putting that hand out there, stopping a lot of that contact with his offhand. If he ain't careful, he could fumble that ball again.
So 2nd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Trying to answer this start by Oliver Springs.
And we're talking about a Coalfield team that's got over 1,200 rushing yards already this season, so they are familiar with running the football, just not having a lot of success tonight because Oliver Springs is crowding that box. They are on the line of scrimmage. Larry Green calls this defense a 3-4. This is what I call an old school 50. Those 3-4 defense he's playing with. He's got big old defensive ends up there, just trying to stop the option and get some penetration plays. So it's more of a traditional 50.
Which is a defense you run to stop a run team.
Yeah, there's not much difference between a 3-4 now and that. It's just different personnel.
McKinney on the keeper on 3rd and 8, and McKinney's going to be dropped
Good
at about
tackle.
the 23-yard line.
And they're fired up talking to each other down there. And love these rivalries.
That is the final play of this first quarter. It will be 4th down when we start the second quarter. And now a very special part of our broadcast, as we will direct our attention to the field as attorney Tim Elrod of OEB Law comes to the field. And OEB Law, of course, is the title sponsor of our game of the week. And joining him is Oliver Springs High School principal Justin Nivens. OEB Law loves high school football in East Tennessee. That's apparent, and that's why they're here tonight, to honor this great rivalry between these two close communities. Tonight, OEB Law is presenting Oliver Springs High School with a check for $1,000. OEB Law, always proud to support local high schools in the area. Thank you to OEB Law for helping our communities. And remember, if you're in a wreck and need a check, call OEB Law at 865-546-1111. Visit them online at wreckintoacheck.com. So this is the third game in which we've seen Tim Elrod tote a check out to the field and give a team $1,000. How special is that?
It's huge, and $1,000 will go a long way at the school down here. He's done so much for the local communities, these smaller communities and big communities. So, guys, if you're out there and you need some help, give OEB a call, and they'll help you out.
So here's Coalfield in punt formation. It's McKinney, a rugby style. It's ugly.
Danger.
And that ball is going to land dead at the 44-yard line. Now, you said danger.
Yeah.
And the reason why you said that, I will let you explain.
Well, the ball was getting close to hitting behind the back of a Coalfield defender. And if that is the case, that's a live ball, and Oliver Springs can jump on it really short there. So that's, you got to have your head on a swivel. He rolled out a little bit, trying to get as good of a kick as he could on that wet ball, as you see here on the replay. He dropped it pretty high, and the ball moved on him, and it kind of shanked it a little bit, but still turned out to be an okay punt for him.
So Crace is in the shotgun formation, wide receiver either side. Here's Boswell on the run. Picks up not much of anything. As you see Coalfield in there ripping and tearing away at that football. They finally did get it. And so there was a fumble on the play, but it was recovered by Oliver Springs.
Number 52 of Coalfield, Micah Jackson. He's a heck of a ball player. He's got 35 total tackles right now, 3 for loss, and he's got 2 sacks on the year. He was in on the play there. Hey, you want to hear an impressive stat, Aaron? Yeah, the ball was down there. This Coalfield defense has 18 sacks on the season.
That is impressive.
That's college-type numbers.
2nd and 8 for Crace, 2 wide receivers on the left, and that's where they are running with White. Landon White trying to get outside, gets it across the 46, and the ball pops out again.
It's going to be all night long. And Isaac Van Witzenberg, he did a really good job coming up there, closing the edge. He had 51 tackles this year so far. He's a really talented player. Yeah, there was a missed hold there on the play, but you've heard it before. There's holding on every play. So you just got to make something happen. But this Coalfield defense is doing a pretty good job. Just got to limit the big runs.
You're a former lineman. You never want to see a hold.
Never want to see a hold, but it's on every play. I'm not even kidding there. And you can go back and replay, and you'll see holding on every play.
So 3rd down for Oliver Springs. And a quick pass to Gallion. What a play. Fakes a handoff. That looked like an RPO to me.
And I tell you, I thought Coalfield's Anthony Foster was taking that back for 6. And it just went right by him for a very good completion for Oliver Springs. I thought that was intercepted.
What a sharp-looking play. So I think Crace read that maybe. That might have been an RPO. And, yeah, Foster was right there.
It was close, but I'm impressed with Crace. He is throwing the ball really well for Oliver Springs.
And only when they need it.
He had only 86 attempts before this game. 86.
So a hammer's 1st and 10 for Crace. Almost gets Coalfield to jump again. Looking downfield, he's got a one-on-one matchup, but nobody's home. That might have been a miscommunication as Gallion was going up against Peyton McKinney on the sideline.
Well, I can tell you there was no miscommunication there. That was Peyton McKinney. He's fired up from that penalty earlier. He took that wide receiver plumb to the fence. That's a very strong defensive back right there.
Sure enough.
It's rare. Only in single-A football will you look out there and you'll see your all-everything quarterback playing cornerback. That's impressive. That's what you love about single-A football, you know?
Yeah. A lot of players have to play both directions. So here's Crace, handoff, Boswell trying to get around the right side, makes a cut, and a man miss, gets upfield, a pickup of about 7, but you've got a penalty that came down. It rests at the 35-yard line of Coalfield, and that is a hold against Oliver Springs, so that run is coming back.
Yeah, anytime you have a long play to the outside and you've got a bunch of big, heavy offensive linemen, sometimes they do kind of get their hands out of position. And you can really see that as an umpire whenever you're running out there and you got your arm stretched out and you're holding cloth, you're going to get caught every time.
That backs the ball back to the Coalfield 45-yard line. Will make it 2nd and 16. So Oliver Springs with one offensive possession, just one offensive possession. I'll say that again. This is the second one, and the Bobcats lead this one 14-0 with 9:15 left to go in the first half. Crace, handoff, Boswell, nothing.
Coalfield linebackers doing a really good job flowing to the ball, not allowing any type of gain right there, much of all. So they're doing a really good job.
And actually, I believe that was Landon White on the handoff instead of Boswell. Regardless, a pickup of 1 should bring up 3rd and 15. And now we are pleased to be joined by Tim Elrod of OEB Law. You picked some really good games to come to. I got to give you credit.
You know, I got my high waters on tonight.
You have to. As Crace sets up the screen pass, and it is incomplete. And I think the rain just picked up.
It's been raining all night. It's not going to stop, and makes for a good game. Makes for an exciting game, you know.
Now, I was talking to Coach James Gibson earlier. He said this is the type of game that players wanted to play in. You want to get wet. You want to get muddy. The hot weather's finally gone. You're out there. It's a little bit colder. As we're going to see the first punt of the night from Oliver Springs. How do you feel about that? Do you think you want to go out there and suit up in this weather?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, this makes memories. That was a good kick.
Wow, so that punt goes into the end zone, a net of a 44-yarder.
That's a kick in a monsoon to kick it that far. That's impressive.
That's very good. So Coalfield will take over with a Hammers 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, so, you know, kids like this, they think about these games all the time, you know, playing in the rain, the mud, you know. I am sure that each one of them didn't shy away from getting wet. And they're laying it out there. I mean, it's 14-0, and, you know, how many turnovers do we have?
We've got 2 turnovers so far, but we've got 5 fumbles. The ball's been on the ground 5 times. That's a lot.
Well, that's true. I can't count those, though.
All right, so you got to present Oliver Springs with a big, wet, sloppy check of $1,000 as McKinney runs it left for a pickup of about 4.
That's right. We're happy to do that. You know, supporting the community is what we're all about, especially here in Oliver Springs. It's a great community of people, and with Coalfield down the road, that just makes for an awesome night. But, you know, anything we can do to give back to the community. We represent a lot of people in the community. You know, we've done it well for many, many years, and when we get an opportunity to give back, we want to reach into those places that hasn't, you know, traditionally got the spotlight, and we want to put the spotlight on them, and, you know, that's why we're here.
So how did you go about choosing this game for your check presentation?
Well, oh my goodness, that was awesome.
What
a
a
good
play.
Athletic on both parts.
So Seth Lau leaps up, and it was almost like he was doing a high jump, trying to get over that bar. As we'll see this on the replay, Seth Lau is an athlete, in case you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think he made it over that bar and able to complete the flip so he doesn't land on his neck, which is important. And Coalfield will have it with 3rd and 4. So yeah, how do you go about selecting this game?
I think Brad, the producer there, he selected this game, and he's selected a lot of these games this year, and or all of them. And we're just happy to be a part of it. But when you talk about Oliver Springs and Coalfield. You guys talked about the history of that before the game started, and it's something to look at, and it means a lot to a lot of people around here. There's a lot of kinfolk around and a lot of bragging rights, and these kids been playing since grass cutter and hopper ball, so they know each other.
And this is a very special rivalry as McKinney's going to punt this ball away. That's a wobbly punt that will land and die at the 28-yard line, and that's where Oliver Springs will take over. But you talk about a guy like Gary Chris, who graduated from Oliver Springs High School, went and lettered at the University of Tennessee, came back, became a head coach at Coalfield, is the winningest coach in Coalfield history, a legend from Coalfield, means a lot to that community, passed away, lost his life to cancer, and Coach Chris meant a lot to both of these areas, Oliver Springs and Coalfield. You talk about a young man that everyone loved, and Aaron Brady Walls, who started his career with Coalfield, transferred over to Oliver Springs before he tragically lost his life in 2012, so now they call this one the Brady Bowl. And again, these schools are less than 5 miles apart from each other, which makes this natural rivalry so good. And honestly, for it to be raining as hard as it is, and everybody knew what the forecast was, there are quite a bit of people in here given those circumstances.
Oh yeah, and thankfully, thanks to BBB 12, if they didn't make it tonight, they have an opportunity to watch it on Facebook or any of the various media outlets that they're on, and it's just good exposure for both teams. Like you said, when you have a rivalry like this and you have people throughout history that's participated in it and gave back to the community, that needs to be highlighted, and it needs to be highlighted more.
Tim Elrod being modest, of course, because he says thanks to BBB TV. Actually, thanks to Tim Elrod and our other sponsors, we're able to bring this game to you. So thank you very much for being a sponsor for us and allowing us to spotlight some of these kids and some of these teams that don't get the spotlight as often as maybe the other schools do.
Hey, and being from born and raised in Anderson County, I know where Hammers is. I knew where Hammers was when it was on Market Street. I knew Miss Hammer. Everybody did, and Kelly Calhoun's over there doing a great job, and he's got a great team over there. And they've over the years expanded, and I've got a lot of great memories in Hammers. I still shop there today, so it's the place to go. So when you get sponsors in there like that's willing to support the community, that only is an example to others that they need to jump on board and let this thing grow.
Well, Tim Elrod, I got to say from the bottom of my heart, as this is my first year as the play-by-play guy for BBB TV, and James Gibson, his first time as the color announcer here, I got to say thank you for being a title sponsor for us and allowing us to get on the air, and thank you for everything you do for the community as well and these kids in these schools.
Well, that's what it's all about, and any spotlight we can put on these kids, create a memory that they're going to take with them forever. We've talked about that before. It's very important to me because I have them from school, and these kids are going to carry this game with them, and they're going to talk about it for years to come. So we're happy to be a part of that and give it the exposure that it's worthy of.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Elrod.
All right.
So that is Tim Elrod of OEB Law. We're so thankful to have him on board with us as we see Blake Crace with a keeper. So while we were doing that interview, Coalfield punted. Oliver Springs took over. Did we miss anything? Is there anything we need to get caught up on?
A good football game. You saw Hayden Hicks there, number 19 of Coalfield, come in there on a play earlier and have a perfect tackle. Coalfield's playing good football. Oliver Springs is playing good football with a 14-0 lead right now in the monsoon. So let's see if they can continue. These punts are very dangerous right now with so much rain.
Oliver Springs
running that clock,
punting this football away, shortening this ball game.
Good
what a beautiful
kick.
Punt. And that ball is going to land at the 20. The ball was spotted at the 32, and it's going to go out of bounds. Are they going to count that at the 15? Yeah, that's the 15-yard line. So that is 35 plus 18. That's a 53-yard punt.
Yeah, in a monsoon, Aaron. But, again, he's a preseason All-State punter.
For a reason.
For a reason. He kicks it, and it sounds like a 12-gauge going off. He's the real deal. If you can kick it like that, that ball's heavy right now. It's soaking wet. That leather is heavy. And you kick it like that on a muddy field in the monsoon and it go 50 yards, that is impressive.
And colleges are going to notice that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So here is Peyton McKinney for Coalfield, going to keep it. Tries to get around the left side and does, but is still dropped for a loss. And
Bailey
Coalfield.
Russell coming up, 5'10", 162 senior, making a good solid tackle. But Oliver Springs is really rallying to the football in numbers. If you see here, they just keep pushing. They have inside penetration with number 71 there, and it bounces to play outside. And their DBs do a really good job of rallying to the football.
That is a loss of 1, and that should bring up 2nd and 11, and it does. So McKinney will bring his team back up to the line. 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left, 2 backs in the backfield. McKinney, handoff. Goes to Lau, and Lau doesn't get much.
Hard to get a lot of good ground on this wet field. It is soaking wet. I mean, you can see it standing on the 50-yard line. It looks like about an inch. Looks like a penalty on the play.
And that is a late flag, came well after the play. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe a sideline warning. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Coalfield.
Was it on Peyton McKinney?
I'm not sure.
If it is on him, that would be 2, but surely it isn't.
The officials, Mr. White looking at his notes. He's going to add something in there. And so that wouldn't be 2. That would be 1 because the first one was a personal foul.
You gotcha, okay. Still, you got to calm your nerves a little bit. Well, number 60 is a good-looking football player for Coalfield.
You're talking about Bryson Phillips.
Uh-oh, ball down in the end zone.
In the end zone. McKinney just throws it away.
That's got to be a flag.
That's probably going to be intentional grounding, but I don't know.
They didn't throw the flag. Hey, high school football. But really good play of Oliver Springs rallying over there. But it's shotgun in this type of environment is very difficult. Coalfield's lucky not to be backed up even further than they are.
Well, I mean, if they call the intentional grounding in the end zone, that's a safety.
It is, and a lot of times you would rather see him just punt it out of the back of the end zone. I know it gives up 2 points, but if that would have been called, that's worst case scenario.
So McKinney punts it away. The ball crosses the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line and dies in a mud puddle, and that's where Oliver Springs will have it 1st and 10 with under 2 minutes left. So Oliver Springs has an opportunity with a short field to go 2-minute drill here and try to add to their lead because, remember, the Bobcats get the ball to start the second half as well.
Yeah, I thought this ball game would be moving a little bit quicker than it has this first half because of these run offenses. But this is the situation that Oliver Springs thrives in. On their side of the field, up on the sticks, running formation, rainy ball game. This is what they're about.
So Crace lines up under center, 3 backs in the backfield. Handoff goes to fullback. That's Lane Lee, and Lee is stacked up and loses half a yard.
Yeah, if you're going to run that fullback dive, you've got to have some interior offensive linemen get a good push on that defensive line, and Coalfield won that battle.
It's got to be hard for a lineman to get traction.
Great job by, looked like Dylan Stewart. Yeah, that was Dylan Stewart in there. That's a great job. He got penetration, beat the guard on the inside, and made the tackle.
All right, so 2nd and 10 and a half. Crace under center again, clock moving. Pitch back to Boswell. Drops it. Ball's on the ground, and Boswell covers it. 6 fumbles in this one.
You know, this time of year down here, this is where I ended my senior year down here in a mud bowl. And then my sophomore year was down here as well. It's always raining down here this time of year, and it makes for a good environment. 6 fumbles. That's awful.
So now we are under a minute left to play.
Third and forever.
40
with 40
seconds. Third and 15. Crace, 3 backs in the backfield again.
Ball
and
down.
He drops the ball. And Crace will just have to pick it up, and he's dropped for a loss of 1, which will bring up 4th and 17. And Coalfield, would Coalfield call timeout here and maybe try to block a punt? They're not going to.
That's a good idea, though, Aaron. I mean, I would because of the situation.
I say that. Here comes a timeout by Coalfield. They've got 17 seconds left in this one, left in the first half, rather, in our OEB Law Game of the Week. So I would like to thank all of our sponsors here tonight, and especially a special sponsor for tonight, which is Harvey's Furniture. 2 names in Oliver Springs you can trust are Harvey's Furniture and Jameson Bedding. Jameson has been in the bedding business since 1883, and Harvey's has served the community since 1948. All sizes of bedding in stock. Be sure to see the amazing latex foam rubber beds. When it comes to bedding, you can trust Jameson and Harvey's Furniture. Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs. And by the way, Harvey's Furniture, that's no relation to me, unfortunately. I don't get any of that. I'm not in that will at all.
All right, guys, pay attention to this snap. This is very dangerous here. It's high percentage play for a turnover in this situation.
And also McKinney is a dangerous returner. High snap. That punt gets away. McKinney just going to watch it, and it goes into the end zone. So another kick into the end zone. Not surprising.
No, I'd like to saw Coalfield kind of go after that a little bit more due to the high probability of a bad snap or a mishandle on
and
the
it
ball.
Was a high snap.
It was. You could have potentially got back there, but he was backed up a full 15 yards.
Yeah.
That's a testament to that long snapper. For him to go out there, snap it 15 yards in this type of weather, that's a hard job.
So Coalfield will have it with a Hammers 1st and 10, and just 9 seconds left in this first half. I don't anticipate any fireworks here, but you never know.
It's Coalfield, Oliver Springs. You never know in high school football.
McKinney under center. Going to take a knee. And that will take us into overtime. Oliver Springs takes Coalfield's first possession, gets a fumble, runs it back for a touchdown, gets another fumble, takes it in for a touchdown, scores 14 points, and nobody has scored since then. It is halftime. Bobcats lead at 14-0 in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Susan.
And this is your Scoreboard Snack Attack. All right, what are we making today, Susan?
Today we are making garbage bread. And it has a crazy name, but I bet it tastes delicious.
I'm sure it does.
So we're going to start with a ½ pound of chopped bacon, 1 cup chopped onion, a pound of ground beef, a tablespoon of steak seasoning, 12 ounces of cubed Velveeta, 13.8 ounce of thin crust pizza dough, 1½ cups of grated cheddar cheese. And then we're going to make a sauce at the end, and it's a ½ cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, salt and pepper to taste. And the way we start is you put that ½ pound of chopped bacon.
I got our bacon going over here.
Got it going, and we're going to cook it until it's crisp.
On our natural gas cooktop.
Which heats up quickly and gives you nice even temperature. Chefs really prefer natural gas because it's so adjustable to exactly what you want.
I prefer natural gas.
I've got it in my house. So Emily cooked the ½ pound of bacon, got it crisp, pulled the bacon out, left the bacon grease in the pan, and now she's going to add the ground beef and the onions. She's going to cook that until the onions are soft and the meat is cooked, and then we're going to drain that out.
So we've drained the meat and the onions, and now we're going to add back in the bacon. A tablespoon of steak seasoning. We here at ORUD have our own steak seasoning. You can come down and purchase some in our showroom.
And not just steak seasoning, but also other spice blends that,
Yes.
that are big favorites.
Then we're going to take our Velveeta and add it into the pan. And we're cooking this on low. So we're just going to stir this until all the cheese melts. Then once this is done, we're going to put it on our pizza crust and put it in the oven.
While Emily was getting everything melty and warm in the pan, we turned the oven on to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Then she spread out the pizza dough on this parchment-lined cookie sheet and putting all that warm, delicious garbage bread mix on the pizza dough. And what are you doing next, Em?
I'm going to put a cup and a half of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese on top of the mixture.
Yum.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the bread into the middle ever so carefully, where it covers the entire mixture. Starting with the long ends. Wants to stick to this parchment paper. Then we'll just turn the ends into themselves, and then that's ready to go into the oven.
All right.
For 15 minutes.
All right, 425, 15 minutes.
Now we got a dip to make, Susan.
Oh, and then what goes in that dip?
So half a cup, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, salt and pepper to taste.
And whisk it together?
And whisk it together in a small bowl.
Yeah.
And you have your dip.
And that's just while you're eating the garbage bread?
You dip it right in there while you're eating them. So we've pulled our bread out of the oven and we've cut it open and it is cooked.
And we
nice
have
and cheesy.
Forks at the ready. I'm definitely doing the sauce. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm about some dipping sauce. Good to go.
This is amazing.
Warm, cheesy, flavorful, just amazing. Garbage bread, 2 thumbs up. For this recipe and any other recipes you see with our scoreboard snack attacks, go to orud.org. Yeah, not com. ORG.
And I'm Emily.
And I'm Susan.
And this has been your
Scoreboard Snack Attack.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Susan.
And this is your Scoreboard Snack Attack. So today we are going to be making a special dessert,
Yum.
a skillet chocolate chip cookie in
wait.
a cast iron skillet. So we're going to go through the ingredients and then we'll get started. So the ingredients we'll be using today are 8 tablespoons of butter, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of packed brown sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 egg, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips.
So in our 8-inch cast iron skillet, I melted the butter, added the brown sugar, ½ cup, and I'm going to add the ½ cup white granulated sugar. Going to keep stirring with the spatula until it's all melted, and then we'll take it off the heat and let it cool for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what my first rule of cooking is in my house, Nikki?
What?
Is you do not start cooking until you have a sink full of hot soapy water.
Well, there you go. That's very useful. And speaking of hot water, did you know that ORUD sells and installs natural gas water heaters? Most models of gas water heaters will still work and give you hot water when your power's out. I know we have a lot of power outages in town recently, so we have a gas water heater at my house. I've still been able to take hot showers even when my power's out, which is kind of nice. Also, we are carrying a new line now of tankless water heaters, the Renai brand, and you can find information about that on our website if you visit us at orud.org.
After the butter and sugar mixture has cooled for 5 minutes, we're going to keep it off the heat and add in the 1 tablespoon
of vanilla extract. The egg.
And I'm going to stir it with a fork. All right, so we're going to mix this up real good. If we had not let this cool, we would be making some scrambled eggs right now in hot butter. Okay, now we're going to put 1½ cups of the flour in and make this batter up.
Ready?
And let's try it.
I'm going to try not to let it all come out on you.
Let's help.
There we go.
And I'm not going to, this looks like it might become, we still have another ½ cup.
Yep. Let me.
Oh, here we go. Pull that up here on top. Keep stirring. There we go. Oh, people. You're going to wish you were here when this comes out of the oven. All right, Nikki, you're going to sprinkle that across the top, and we'll incorporate that.
There you go.
Okay, a little bit
And
of baking soda.
we'll also do our salt.
Okay, so did you know that 1/8 of a teaspoon is like a big pinch between your fingers? So that looks good. Sprinkle it on in.
We're Southern. We don't have to precisely measure.
That's right.
We just do sprinkles.
And we know that salty and sweet is one of that perfect combination. Look at that. Okay, so we spread the batter really evenly, and we're sprinkling the chocolate chips on, taking care not to get too close to the edge. Now we're just going to fold them in. Look, they're already melting. This is delicious looking. It's already gooey and amazing.
Smells fantastic. Can I taste it? I'm just kidding. Not yet.
Get you a spoon. Okay.
Okay, so once you get those chocolate chips folded evenly throughout the batter, we're going to stick this in our natural gas oven to bake for about 20 minutes. And again, that was at 350 degrees. Just until the edges start to get a little brown.
Okay. Nikki, you know what you get?
To lick the spoon?
Lick the spoon. It's going in.
So I had to jump in on this cookie action. So we've got our cookie out of the oven.
And now we are about to taste it, but first, I just wanted to remind you all that here at ORUD, we do sell and install natural gas appliances. So we have a full showroom. Come on down and take a look. If you haven't been down in a while, we've rearranged some stuff recently. So all kinds of new stuff out on display. Also, for our customers that live in our district, we offer 0% interest financing when you purchase from us. You can just add it to your bill. We make it super easy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now let's taste.
My favorite. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Pregnant people love cookies.
Oh, that's so good.
So good. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Emily.
Oh, Nikki's gonna have to say who I am.
And that's Susan.
This is Susan, and this has been your Scoreboard Snack Attack.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And welcome back to Oliver Springs. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson with you. It is halftime, and we told you it was raining. If you don't believe us, look at those puddles on the field. And my cohort just made an observation. He said, those kids that aren't really playing much, yeah, they're going to be feeling it.
They'll be freezing. You know, that water, that's creeping into those cleats. So the youngins on a sideline that don't get a lot of playing time, it's not working up a sweat. They'll be a little chilly. So they'll take advantage of that warm locker room at halftime here.
It is halftime in the Brady Bowl. As you see, both these teams 6-2. This game is for second place in the region. And why that's important is second place will get a home game in the first round of the TSSAA playoffs. And our game is brought to you by OEB Law. They do it all: personal injury, SSD, low-cost agreed divorce, workers' compensation, criminal defense, wills, medical malpractice, nursing home neglect, bad drugs, or medical devices. They do what they can to help the people no matter what the situation is, and they can do it all or find you an expert attorney who can. That's OEB Law. Call 546-1111 or go to recintoacheck.com. We've got some first half stats for you. As you see there, not a lot of offense. So Oliver Springs with 4 first downs, wow. Coalfield with 2 rushing yards, Oliver Springs with 25, Coalfield with 23. Here's the difference maker, and this is just ridiculous that this is the difference maker. But Oliver Springs with 29 yards passing. Blake Crace has been on target, has a touchdown pass in this game to Landon Gallion, and Oliver Springs has a total of 54 yards to Coalfield's 23. Now here is the kicker, though. Turnovers. Coalfield's first 2 possessions were turned over. The first one of those was a fumble returned for a touchdown, and that all of Oliver Springs' points have come off of the 2 Coalfield turnovers. Penalties, 3 for 54 for Oliver Springs, 4 for 30 for Coalfield. Time of possession, Oliver Springs just wearing it out.
You know, they're doing what they do. That's their whole strategy, is to run the football and hold that time of possession to limit McKinney, his opportunities on offense. So they're doing exactly what they want to do.
So Brad Jones, who sits up here in this press box and just is a wizard, he's got keyboard after keyboard after keyboard in front of him. He's got all these monitors, he's got all these cameras. He's switching back and forth between the different cameras that his camera crew has. He turned to you and he said, what adjustments can you make in an environment like this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And a night like tonight, you don't make many unless you're Coalfield and you're saying, hey, we have got to hold on to the football. And if I'm Coalfield and I have to, I'm going under center. We've seen several high and low snaps coming from the Coalfield offense, so that's about the only adjustments you can make. If you're Oliver Springs, you just keep running the football. I'd be careful throwing it because that Coalfield defensive backfield is very talented and will pick you off. And like we said earlier, Oliver Springs coming in tonight with only 86 passing attempts. So there's not a lot of experience there slinging the football.
Landon Gallion, number 32 for this Oliver Springs football team, has all 14 points for the Bobcats. He returned the fumble for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown pass in the end zone. The first extra point was blocked, so Oliver Springs went for 2. He caught a 2-point conversion, so he's had a heck of a ball game so far.
He has. He showed out tonight, but this, overall, this Oliver Springs team has been fired up tonight. They've matched Coalfield everywhere on the football field and got lucky with 2 turnovers because really this should be a 0-0 game without those 2 long turnovers. So we've got a ball game here tonight, guys, so you need to be sharing this on social media, tagging your friends in it. If you're at home trying to hide from the rain, you can watch at home because we're going to have a great game here tonight.
So 14 points is the deficit for Coalfield, and normally you look at that and you're like, okay guys, it's only 14 points, we can go out there. How much though are you seeing this wet field, you're feeling a wet ball, are you looking at that clock and you're saying, gosh, we've only got a half to make up 14 points?
In my mind, yes, but not I'm not letting anybody know that. I've got to get my kids fired up over on that sideline, and Coalfield's emotions were running high there late in that second half, getting several just unwarranted penalties in their emotions a little bit. And you can see the tough coaching taking place right there on that sideline. Can't have two penalties like that at the quarterback position from one of the better football players on the football field. So they've had some adjustments in that Coalfield locker room, so look for them to come out fired up and playing some head-hunting football.
So how much of this, too, is going to be Oliver Springs trying to protect a lead because the field is so wet?
Well, that's exactly what they're going to try to do. They're going to come back out and just run the football. But we have seen, 6, 7 fumbles tonight?
Six
fumbles.
Yeah.
I don't care if you do run it 99% of the time. There's still a likelihood that you might turn the ball over, and Coalfield can score at any time.
Now, we saw last night as we were following scores that Powell was down to Oak Ridge 21-7 entering the fourth quarter, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Oak Ridge, man, they've turned around. They're going to be the team to knock off Powell this year.
They have turned around though, Aaron. I know it was close. They were almost pulled out the win.
They have, but let me make my point. Okay, Powell scores 20 points in the fourth quarter to win that one 27-20.
Yeah.
So you're looking at this and you're thinking, wow, Coalfield got off to a really bad start. Well, Powell got off to a slow start last night as well, and you see how that one turned out. So, I mean, there's a long ball game to play.
Very long, that's for sure.
So here's the kick, and that goes. That's from McKinney, and it's picked up at the 24-yard line by Blake Crace, and Crace gets it up to the 30.
He couldn't hardly get any traction there. He couldn't hardly slow down. This field, look at his feet sinking into the grass. So it's getting quite muddy out there, guys. I know we had 6 fumbles in the first half, which is a lot. But we might have another 6 in the second half.
Splish, splash, they are taking a bath.
Watch him try to slow down here.
Now look at all that water.
These kids will remember this for the rest of their lives. This is a great atmosphere with the fans all over the fence, playing in just a bathtub of water.
I'm happy that we can bring this game to you in high definition so that you can see what we see. There are some times when, like, I'm looking through the glass of this press box, and I'm like, why am I doing that? I should just watch it on the monitor up here that I see the replays through, because it's much clearer that way. So Oliver Springs has a Hammers 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line as Cray selects to hand off to Boswell, tries to get around the right side, finds some running room up to the 35-yard line, and that's where his forward progression will stop.
And again, Oliver Springs isn't doing anything special. They're running just their basic offense, get out there and run that football, try to dominate the line of scrimmage, have no turnovers. And that's the strategy they're going to continue to go with here.
A pickup of 5 will make it 2nd and 5. If Oliver Springs can run the football, then they might be able to get this game out of hand a little bit. Handoff. Boswell again makes a cut from right to left, gets up to the 40, across the 40, and that will be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
Guys, I just want to highlight what a pulling guard is supposed to do here if we can see the replay. 71, Jacob Jones came slanging around the side of the offense over there and just absolutely had a manhandle block there. And that's why they picked up a big gain on the play.
And Oliver Springs looks like they're going to hurry up and get to the line, so we won't be able to get to that replay. So here is Crace, handoff. Boswell up the middle, picks up on a second effort, picks up 4 yards, and that will bring up 2nd and a long 6, we'll call it.
Rumbling and stumbling, and that's what you want to see out of your running backs. Stumble forward, pick up what you can, keep that ball high and tight, and pick up an extra yard or 2.
And here's that play. The ending of that play, you saw Boswell fall forward, and he does that very well. So 2nd and long 6, Crace hands off to Landon White this time, and White trying to hold on to that football, gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. We'll bring up 3rd and a long 6. Look at those white jerseys from Coalfield.
Just absolutely covered in mud, and big Dylan Stewart coming in, making a good play. I've been really impressed tonight with Dylan Stewart's play. He is a very good-looking offensive, defensive position. You see him there, he just blew through the center position and just imposed his will on him, and that's what you want to see. A lot like his older brother.
Stewart, of course, part of a talented family. Older brother Zach was a 4-star athlete by Rivals. I say athlete, that wasn't his position. Obviously, he was a lineman. Here's Crace, takes his shotgun snaps, what I was trying to say, but there's a flag on the play, and there is a false start on Oliver Springs, which will make this 3rd and 11 for the Bobcats.
This is an interesting play call here. Let's see what they elect to do with Crace making a lot of really tough throws in the first half. They might be able to throw the ball here a little bit. That clock is running. We've got 12 seconds left on the play clock. Three.
Snap. Boswell, right side, looking for a hole. Makes the man miss. Gets up the sideline to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the goal line. Touchdown, Oliver Springs.
Boswell again, the big, strong running back, just ran it to the outside and outran everybody. But what a great job by number 21 of Oliver Springs, Bailey Russell, coming in with a really good block to seal the edge for him and allow him to bounce that outside to pick up a huge play.
So as we see this on the replay, Boswell, a little jump cut move there from right to left.
And that's a big guy to move that well.
So Casey Thomas on to attempt the extra point. Crace to hold. Snap, set, kick. It's good. Oliver Springs scores on the first possession of the second half, and it takes 3 minutes and 10 seconds to do so. Bobcats lead this one 21-0 in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
A car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Back at Oliver Springs, Bobcats, surprisingly, well, it's a surprise to me, lead this one 21-0 into the third quarter. Thomas set to kick this one off. McKinney back deep to receive. And this is a wobbly type kick. Rolls to the goal line, or rolls to the sideline before it's picked up and returned out to about the 32-yard line where Coalfield will take over.
And he had a hard time getting the ball. He dropped it there once. I mean, you could really count that as well. If you see here on the replay, he has a hard time judging the ball.
That's an ugly kick.
Has a hard time, stumbles, fumbles with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a turnover here at any minute. I want to see the Coalfield body language improve just a little bit. Yeah, you're down 21-0, but you are in this ball game. Anything can happen at any time.
You score one time, you get an extra point, and all of a sudden it's the same score that the Oak Ridge Powell game had last night. McKinney looks like on a quarterback keeper, unless I missed something. That's what it looked like. That's what it was, and gets pretty good yardage running right up the middle.
That big interior offensive line of Coalfield went to work there to getting a really good push. The Oliver Springs defensive line stood straight up, which helped them out. You don't want to do that, but Coalfield did a really good job. Picked up a lot on just a simple quarterback sneak.
And that was 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6, so a good gain on first down.
Heavy formation for Coalfield.
McKinney under center, takes a snap, handoff, goes to H-back, and the ball's on the ground. McKinney picks it up somehow and looks to throw it. Throws it upfield, and that ball's intercepted.
Big mistake for McKinney. He's trying to throw the ball away, but you've got to throw it out of bounds, even if you get a penalty. He can't throw it down the field up like that because of that reason right there.
And that was quarterback Blake Crace, and that's probably what McKinney was trying to do, but that ball is wet.
Yeah, it's heavy
and it
ball.
Doesn't quite make it out of bounds, and it wasn't Crace, actually. Let's get a number on that one. Who was that?
Gavin Hill, 5'10", 150, running back, strong safety. He's a junior, coming in with a big play here in Coalfield territory.
So Oliver Springs up by 3 scores. Has just gotten the 3rd turnover of the game from Coalfield. Snap, handoff. This one goes to White. No, that one goes to Boswell. And a pickup of 1 on the play.
Oliver Springs created just enough of a little hole there to pick up a couple.
We'll make it 2nd down, clock running. So we see, here's the play on the replay. McKinney almost made such a great play as Mr. White had to jump out of the way.
Really had that play just being able to get the football that was on the ground, but then came back with a mistake of throwing the interception. So things happen in these type of ball games. The rain is getting everybody's head.
Here's Boswell again trying to get outside on the
Good
same play
run.
he scored on.
Good
Makes
run.
it outside. And he will get up across the 30-yard line, and he's slung out of bounds, and we might have a penalty. We do for unnecessary roughness.
Motions are riding high right now off the Coalfield sideline. They're not used to getting beat 21-0, and they're not responding too well for that. Is digging a little deeper here. Got to respond a little bit better and stop the penalties.
So there you see it, a personal foul, and that's going to tack on 15 more yards, and the ball will be placed at the Coalfield 14-yard line. So Bobcats will have a Hammers 1st and 10 with just 14 yards to pay dirt.
Saw on the replay there, it was just unnecessary and uncalled for, and he'll need a coaching moment when they watch it on film.
Crace, handoff.
Dylan Stewart again. He has played a great ball game on that defensive front for Coalfield.
And that was Gavin Hill on the carry that time. Gets nothing.
You see him there just beating the guard to the inside. Center didn't help on the chip block on Big Dylan Stewart. He just took advantage of that. You've got to get 2 guys on him, at least a chip block to help him out a little bit. Score update, Wartburg 6, Sunbright nothing, halftime.
All right. Bunch formation to the left for Oliver Springs as Crace will keep it. Gets around the right side, dives for the goal line. Does he get in?
He's calling him out on about the 2.
Ooh.
A very close play.
And I think that was a zone read as well. Crace elected to keep it and won the foot race around the right side and almost made it to the end zone. Dove for that pile-on. But the official right there to mark him out at the 2.
And on that type of play, you've got to have responsibilities. You know, that's basically an option play. He had the option to hand it off or keep it. He elected to keep it, and the linebacker was nowhere to be found on that.
So here's Crace under center. This is going to be a handoff to Boswell. And they knew I knew the play, so they called timeout. Timeout, Oliver Springs, 6:14 left to play in the 3rd quarter. The Bobcats lead at 21-0.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Back at Oliver Springs, Bobcats threatening to go up 4 scores.
Look at those uniforms and jackets of the coaches. They're soaking wet. What a ball game.
When you get away from the adrenaline and you're taking that wet gear off, you realize how cold you actually are.
Like I said, these kids will remember this game for the rest of their lives.
1st and goal. Hammers 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. And Crace, handoff, Boswell, just like I said. And Coalfield does a great job getting Boswell down on the ground. Looks like no gain on the play.
Really good job at Coalfield defense, coming in there really well. Micah Jackson, number 52, and, of course, Daniel Shar coming in there. They're doing a good job defensively. If they, like I said earlier in the ball game, if they could limit the big runs of Oliver Springs' offense, they would be in a very close ball game. And unfortunately, just had too many penalties, too many turnovers.
And that's the thing, 3 turnovers for Coalfield. And if Oliver Springs can punch this one in, that's 21 points off turnovers. Crace, handoff, Boswell up the middle, finds the goal line, gets it across, touchdown, Bobcats.
Big play there. Big play there, running it in. Coalfield trying to do some submarine blocking on the defensive line where they, try to clog the hole, and he tiptoed in.
And Boswell's so patient.
He is. You see that? I mean, he bounces back inside. They do a good job, and he picks it up. It was a close play. I don't know if he was quite over that line or not, but it was too close.
Casey Thomas on to try the extra point. Blake Crace to hold. Snap. And Crace is going to take it and throw it. No, he's going to run it, and he's going to be stopped at the goal line. That was a bad snap. I don't think that was an intentional 2-point conversion. Nevertheless, it ends up in 6 for Oliver Springs. So
Isaac Van Witzenberg coming in on a good tackle there.
I think that was just a bad snap. And we see Crace looking to throw, no one home, so gets tackled out of bounds. 2 names in Oliver Springs you can trust are Harvey's Furniture and Jameson Bedding. Jameson has been in the bedding business since 1883, and Harvey's Furniture has served the community since 1948. All sizes of bedding in stock. Be sure to see the amazing latex foam rubber beds. When it comes to bedding, you can trust Jameson and Harvey's Furniture. Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs.
And we had an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Coalfield. I believe that's 3 15-yarders for Coalfield in this game. So Emotions are riding high, and it's costing them a lot of yards in this ball game. And when the coaches go back and start evaluating film, they're going to be harping on that. They've got to get that fixed if they expect to make a deeper run in the playoffs.
And it's looking like now, at this point in the game, in the third quarter, and highlight that right there, 80 penalties, 745 yards on the season. That is a lot.
And that's before this game, guys.
That's even before this game, yes.
That's a lot, and that makes me sweat a little bit, to be honest with you. You never want to see these. That's a lot of yardage that could have been difference-making in some games, you know.
And it's looking like, as of right now, it looks like Coalfield's going to lose this game. But this team has so much talent, and it wouldn't surprise me or anybody up here if that team could make a run in the playoffs, but you'd have to clean it up.
You've got to clean up. You can't have the turnovers. You can't have the penalties. I mean, it's simple football. I don't care if you're playing hoppers or college or NFL. If you have too many stupid penalties, turnovers, you're going to lose the ball game. So they've got to take advantage of that film from this game and really come together as a team and be one and fix these penalties.
So you see the score, of course, 27-0. 20 of those points for Oliver Springs have come off of Coalfield turnovers. As McKinney is under center on this Hammers 1st and 10, handoff goes to Lau, and Lau plunges forward and picks up probably about 3, it looks like.
He's a talented running back. We've seen him over the years. He's a really good hard runner. But he's going to have to hold on to that football and quit moving it around too much after he gets a hold of it. Like I said, he is one of the better running backs in this region in East Tennessee, and we've seen him play since he was in middle school.
2nd and 7 for McKinney, under center now. Again, runs that quarterback sneak that they had so much success on, and had some success again, as on the end of that play you saw Colton Keys for Coalfield falls on his rear end and slides about 3 yards.
Well, one thing that people at home are probably seeing is this environment has changed the way that Coalfield is playing this game. It's changed their personnel, their formations. It's took everything they wanted to do out of this game. Oliver Springs is doing what they have always done. Run the football, same plays they're running. So this element, this rain and this sloppy field has taken Coalfield out of their game and made them change a lot of stuff up.
And it benefits Oliver Springs to not have to change anything. And now the play is blown dead as there's a flag on the play.
Coalfield wasn't set before they snapped the play. That's on the quarterback.
So you had a 3rd and a short 5, and now you're going to have a 3rd and a short 10.
Yeah, the ball was snapped before the wide receivers were set. Again, penalties are killing them, and that can make emotions ride even higher. So now you got less manageable 3rd and 10. Your playbook is very thin in this type of situation down here in these elements that you're in. But I'm still trying to throw some type of screen or throw the ball down the field a little bit.
So McKinney in a shotgun formation has to throw it and almost throws another interception as he had a defender coming on a jailbreak. And for Oliver Springs, that was Ty Lamance almost getting to McKinney before he released that football. And that was just a linebacker blitz.
Let's see here off the replay. Come off right off the edge. Had a free shot at the quarterback. That's never what you want to see. Should have had a running back picking that up, it looked like. Should have been. But here's another dangerous punt. So watch the long snap.
And Oliver Springs is not going to send anyone deep. So McKinney, I don't know if Oliver Springs is coming after this one or.
I would say not. I just don't want a crazy fumble.
And McKinney's punt is a line driver that will roll dead at the 32-yard line of Oliver Springs, and that is where the Bobcats will take over. So, again, want to thank all of our sponsors tonight. Oak Ridge Utility District, Evans Mortuary, Griffin Insurance, Harriman Utilities Board, Ray Varner, Ford, S.L. Bowman and Sons, Davis Funeral Homes, and Harvey's Furniture, and also Bryson's Closet. Thank you to all of our sponsors for tonight's game. And the rain just continues to fall here, and I know you can't really see it on your television as well as we can see it here, but it is still coming down hard.
Oliver Springs coming out with the heavy formation again, and Coalfield electing to stay in that four-man front.
And here's Boswell breaking free again. Yeah. Nobody can get him down. Crosses midfield, finally brought down at the Coalfield 45-yard line. That's a pickup of 23 yards.
He is running the football mad. That is impressive. I mean, he was dragging defenders for 10 yards on that play. Look at the replay here. You're talking major yards after contact.
He squirts out of there.
Almost 20 yards after contact, Aaron.
Wonderful run by Boswell.
Top formation. Coalfield electing to stay in a four-man front. Oliver Springs has numbers to run the football.
Crace handoff up the middle, nothing to it.
Good job of the Coalfield linebackers coming in there and helping in run support.
No gain on the play will bring up 2nd and 10. Actually, loss of about half a yard.
Now that all started with that Dylan Stewart. Him coming up there, and Coalfield coming out in a four-man front against basically a 6 to 7-man front. Statistically speaking, Oliver Springs should be able to run that football every single time. But Dylan Stewart clogged that hole up, numbers against him, and made a big play. He's a difference maker for that Coalfield defense.
Crace again out of the shotgun formation, and we got a false start. We'll bring up 2nd and 15.
I've been really impressed with number 89, Coalfield's Daniel Shar. He is a really good-looking linebacker, and he's been all over the field tonight. He's doing what he can, trying to stop that running game of Oliver Springs, but he's got to have some support out of the defensive backfield coming in and closing and having his back. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot of coaching moments coming from this loss, this potential loss for Coalfield tomorrow.
Crace drops back to pass. Finds a man there and up to the 39-yard line. And that goes to Matthew Milliken, a senior on this team.
And Crace showing a lot of moxie at the quarterback position. When we covered Oliver Springs earlier this year, we got a timeout.
So a pickup of 10 will bring up 3rd and 6 in our OEB Law Game of the Week after the timeout.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Back in the land of Oz for our OEB Law Game of the Week. 3rd down and 6. Crace under center. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff, looks downfield, throws the football. Man is there. Ball is dropped. Trying to hit Fisher Ely on that one.
He has got to come down with that ball. It hit him right in the chest. There's no excuses. I don't care what he says. Mud on the gloves or chest or not, you got to come down with that ball. But really good patience by the quarterback. He made a really good throw under severe pressure by Coalfield. Hit him right, hit his target.
That's a really nice pass.
Well, it makes you nervous because he's also the punter, so he better catch this ball.
And here is the punt.
Look at that.
And that goes into the end zone. We do have a flag on the play, and I'm not sure what it's going to be, but
be holding.
I think it's going to be on Seth Lau.
Yeah, and you see the body language just not quite there, as you expected, being down 27-0. But this Coalfield team is one of the better 1A programs in East Tennessee. This just isn't the environment for that offense to really get comfortable and start putting up a lot of numbers. But they have been in their own heads tonight, like I said, or all year long, really. If you looked at the penalty situation that we was addressing earlier, it's hard to win ball games when you beat yourself.
So for a punt that doesn't even get returned, it goes into the end zone, a block in the back is called. So we saw it right there on the bottom of your screen. Couldn't see it very well, but it was right in front of an official, and that will back the ball up half the distance to the goal from the 20, and Coalfield will have a Hammers 1st and 10 from the Yellow Jacket 10-yard line. McKinney out of shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers on the right. Miscue, and McKinney will just try to take it around the left sideline, find some daylight, gets it up ahead to the 24-yard line, and that will be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
Blake Crass coming up making a tackle, but McKinney just making something out of nothing. He's the leading rusher for this Coalfield offense for a reason, but it all started with a breakdown. Miscommunication. The running back went on the opposite side of the quarterback. It's been a mental game tonight on a little bit of Coalfield's mistakes. So let's see him calm down here a little bit, and let's run some simple plays.
And McKinney, quick out. Ball is incomplete. Called incomplete.
That's close. I don't know how that was a up the field throw, but anyway, that is a break for Coalfield.
You saw it. He was behind the 20, and that ball was touched around the 20. So that it was a forward pass. And I tell you, we've got.
Yeah, it was a forward pass. Good eyes, Aaron.
So we've got Coalfield assistant coaches above us. That ball was dropped, and we heard a stomp, and this whole press box shook. So someone's unhappy up there. And here's a handoff to Lau, and Lau gets across the 25, stopped at about the 27-yard line. Not a bad pickup.
Bailey Russell coming in there at the safety position, making a really good tackle because the Coalfield offensive line opened a hole that a tractor could drive through, and he sealed the hole himself. That's a really good job making a tackle against a really good running back in open field.
And that is the last play of the third quarter. In the final period, Oliver Springs will have a 27-0 advantage in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Is a nonprofit organization
providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back to our OEB Law Game of the Week. In Bobcat Country, DJ Britton Field, 3rd and 7 for Coalfield as the Yellow Jackets trail 27-0. McKinney drops back to pass, lets it go way up into the air, and Coalfield's receiver on that play, Anthony Foster, had to turn into a defender as Gavin Hill was there trying to intercept that football and almost did.
Yeah, it's just not a very good throw. He threw off his back foot, a little bit of pressure coming off that left side. Made him step up just a little too early, and he threw the ball Just kind of a misplaced ball, really.
That one floated on him. You got to wonder how much.
Another penalty.
And we've got an illegal procedure against Coalfield, and that penalty will be declined. So it will bring up 4th and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. So McKinney will drop back to punt, but you got to wonder how much that wet ball played into that pass.
It's having a major impact because those leather balls, when they get good and wet, they get heavy. So he's having a hard time throwing that football.
So McKinney, also the punter for this team. Again, Oliver Springs not going to put anybody back to receive. I guess out of fear for a fumble, but we'll see. So McKinney takes the snap, fields it cleanly. Rugby-style punt. Gets up to the 43-yard line, bounces, and rolls dead at the 34, and that's where Oliver Springs will take over.
Good punt by McKinney, good long snap. Let's see him come up, play some good, tough defense right here.
Two names in Oliver Springs you can trust are Harvey's Furniture and Jameson Bedding. Jameson has been in the bedding business since 1883, and Harvey's has served this community since 1948. All sizes of bedding in stock. Be sure to see the amazing latex foam rubber beds. When it comes to bedding, you can trust Jameson and Harvey's Furniture. Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs. And the Bobcats will have a Hammers 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line as Crace takes a snap and hands off to Boswell, who changes his field, leaps a person, and gets up to the 38-yard line. Great pickup for Boswell. What a runner.
I'm telling you, Aaron, every time we've watched him this year, he's just dominated. He did the same thing against Kingston. But to be able to hurdle a linebacker like that and Daniel Shar, that's impressive because he's a potential all-state type of linebacker for Coalfield, and he just stepped right over him. So he is an impressive running back. You saw on the screen before tonight, 53 for 463 or 465 yards.
Crace can't handle the snap, goes way behind him, picks it up, and then falls down, and that's at the 22-yard line, and that's a huge loss.
Huge loss, but even more that hurts a little worse is one of your all-state linebackers, Daniel Shar, is slow to get up with holding his shoulder, late in this ball game is something that you don't want to see. And he went down on the field. Impressive football player.
Yeah.
Tough ball player, I tell you. I don't think you can see it on the replay. Okay, yeah, you can. You see how he lands there? That arm just kind of goes limp.
Oh, gosh.
I've been there a time or two.
And we've got a whistle. We've got a flag on the play.
I tell you, I'd like to see Coalfield get him out of that ball game. Because what I saw on the football field was something else there.
I don't know if you could hear the crowd through the television, but this Oliver Springs crowd went, oh! And I think Daniel Shar, he did a medical procedure on himself.
He did a medical procedure on himself on the football field, and the entire stadium said, ooh!
And you slapped me really hard.
Well, he's still in the ball game. I'm just going to tell you what it looks like. It looked like he dislocated the shoulder, and he popped that sucker back into place on the field, and he's still in the game. And it's a tough kid, I tell you.
Oliver Springs leads this one 27-0.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Back at Oliver Springs, out of the timeout. The Bobcats will have a 3rd and very long. The clock has it as a 3rd and 27. I haven't done the math to double check if that's correct, so we'll just leave it at that. That's what our stat guy, Chandler Jones, has as well.
coming out with trips to the far side of the field.
And Crace in the shotgun formation. He will drop back to pass. Looking, finds a target, and you have a pass interference as Landon Gallion.
Connor Johnson, number 18 of Coalfield, came in with the hit early, very early.
Yeah, just knocked him to the turf. And that is very unfortunate for Coalfield because Crace in the shotgun formation, he will drop back to pass. Looking, fine set of downs.
Yeah, some of the older players at Coalfield's going over there and just coaching him up a little bit on the field, telling him to calm down. You know, that's a big play. He should have slowed down a little bit and made a little bit better play on that. But he's a junior. He knows better.
Well, I said they'll get a fresh set of downs, but in high school I don't think they do unless the penalty exceeds the yardage to gain. So you're still going to have a third down, and where that penalty is spotted, it will be a 3rd and 11. But still 16 yards made up on that. And Crace is going to throw to Landon White, or toss to Landon White, who's going to run it around the right side, tries to find some running room, does not, in fact loses a couple yards.
Yeah, Coalfield wasn't fooled by that at all. Interesting offensive series for Oliver Springs. I don't know, they were just experimenting with some stuff, but I'll just continue running that football down the throat and try to run that clock down as much as I possibly can. You don't want to give Coalfield anything because this group, they can score bunches in a hurry.
Now, one thing we notice is normally Peyton McKinney is back deep to receive these punts, and he is not currently back deep to receive a punt.
Connor Johnson.
And the snap is bobbled. It's on the ground, and Coalfield is going to take over on downs, or maybe they recovered that fumble. Doesn't matter. They're going to have it at the same spot regardless, and Coalfield is in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Big play for Coalfield. Let's see how they respond here. Little low snap, wet ball, wet field. Things happen, and big number 60 slinging in there and getting that ball in a hurry.
And that is Bryson Phillips Ridge.
Sophomore out of Coalfield.
So Coalfield with a big opportunity here. You just said you don't want to give Coalfield anything.
No, nothing at all if you're Oliver Springs, because this is a very talented Coalfield squad. Yeah, that score's 27-0, but there's a lot of contributing factors to that score. So let's see how they respond here.
So McKinney operating under center.
Ball down.
He loses the football, picks it up, rolls to his left. He's got a man coming after him, and that ball's picked off. Going back the other direction and tackled at the 43-yard line.
Seth Lau saved the touchdown for Coalfield. Made a good tackle there to drag him down. Unfortunate play for McKinney. Threw the ball right to the player,
which was Austin Bridges. Huge turn of events. As we see on this replay, McKinney had no idea that he was being chased.
Tried to square up to make the throw, and as soon as he did, he got hit through an interception there to the big guy running down the field.
And that was Boswell providing the pressure for Oliver Springs.
Big Austin Bridges Jr. coming up with an interception.
So now Crace will line up under center. 3 backs in the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to go back to what's worked tonight.
It doesn't work on this play, however, as Boswell stopped behind the line by Austin Hensley. Loses a couple yards there.
And I tell you, the formations that Oliver Springs has ran tonight has all been heavy packages. And Dylan Stewart, again, blowing up that interior offensive line. He has dominated this game in the trenches tonight for Coalfield. He's done a great job. So he needs commends tonight. He's done a great job tonight. Looks down at his wristband, gets the play.
2nd and 10 for Oliver Springs. Crace, high snap, takes it, hands off to Boswell. Boswell's going nowhere. Coalfield completely selling out on the run, and there's a flag on the play.
Austin Hensley did a really good job closing in on the play and making a tackle for loss.
Official's going to talk about it. Normally this is a hold.
Overall, these officials have done a really good job tonight with the environment as it is, intense rivalry game. They've done a good job.
And you know they're cold.
Oh, yeah, they're soaking wet.
Waiting on the call. It is a hold on Oliver Springs. That's a 10-yard penalty. See if we can see it.
He called a holding.
Okay, that's not the only flag on the play. Dead ball, personal foul on Coalfield. So you'll back the ball up 10 yards for the hold, and then you will advance the ball 15 yards for the personal foul. And when all is said and done, Oliver Springs will have a 2nd and 5.
If I'm Keith Henry, I'm pulling my hair out on that sidelines. That's, what is that, 3 or 4?
It's a
15
lot.
yarders?
It's too many.
Yes. I mean, come on, guys. You're going to have to do a little bit better than that and keep your emotions in check.
Grace handoff. Gavin Hill up the middle. Gets down to the 30-yard line of Oliver Springs. Great pickup of
a lot.
Let's see where they spot it so we can be official with it. 21 yards on the carry for Gavin Hill.
And, Aaron, you could have ran through that hole. That offensive line opened a huge gap, pulled that offensive guard. He followed right there. And
of course I could have run through that hole. What are you trying to say here?
I'm saying you got a lot of rust on them knees.
You're right about that. So Crace with a new set of downs on the Hammers 1st and 10. Going to let time run off the clock. Play clock under 10. Handoff. This time goes back to Hill. Hill hits the line of scrimmage and picks up about 3 before he's brought down. Has that Oliver Springs line got a push that time?
They have. The Coalfield defensive line is kind of standing up a little bit, which is expected. 4th quarter, 6:40 left to go. Single A football, playing both sides of the ball, so they're starting to feel it a little bit. Oliver Springs has more players on that roster, so they're able to really rotate the depth in. And if you see on the camera here, Coalfield's defense has let Oliver Springs run the football a lot with their decision making, keeping that 4-man defensive front, keeping the linebackers back, and the DBs keeping them 10 to 12 yards back. So, that allows a mismatch up front for Oliver Springs when they run those heavy, tight formations.
So Austin Hensley gets the stop behind the line of scrimmage on Blake Crace.
It's impressive. You have a 4-man front, and you still make a tackle for loss when they have the numbers. That's impressive.
Yeah, Hensley playing that defensive end position for the Yellow Jackets. And now, Crace has 2 wideouts either side. Handoff goes to Hill. Hill going to try to make the outside. Not going to get there, but does pick up about 4 yards, and it'll be 4th down for Oliver Springs.
We know they're not going to kick.
Nah, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't just hand it off. Boswell off left tackle.
It's worked all night. Continue with what works. They split that wide receiver all the way out to the numbers on the far side of the field.
Boswell not actually in the game. In the backfield is still Gavin Hill. And Hill gets the handoff straight up the middle. Turnover on downs as Hill's able to pick up 1 yard. So Coalfield will take over at the Yellow Jacket 25-yard line.
Hill is a very good running back, but there's a big difference between Gavin Hill, 5'10", 150, and the big man in there about 215, 220. So that's a big weight difference.
Now, I would say this. Region 2 is probably significantly better than Region 1. And so Oliver Springs likely going to go on to win this game. They will be the number 2 seed in the playoffs, but I expect Coalfield and Oliver Springs to advance past that first round.
Ball
As the
down.
ball's on the ground again.
Oliver Springs recovers. Just a simple handoff, but in this weather, it makes simple handoffs into turnovers.
And that's 4 turnovers for the Coalfield Yellow Jackets.
With about 10 fumbles. That hurts. You see it there on the body language of McKinney there. He's just, what else is going to go on tonight?
But like I said, you want to win this one. You want to stay home for the first round of the playoffs. But even if you have to travel, Coalfield is talented enough to go up and win that first round region game.
Absolutely. My money's on Coalfield for sure, but Coalfield has the talent to beat any team in single A any given night.
Yeah.
They're the real deal. They just got to come together as a team and fix this discipline stuff with the penalties and the silly talking back and forth stuff because they're a really good ball club.
So Landon White on the reverse picks up a couple yards. And there you see it. So the region standings, Cloudland, Hancock County, Jellicoe. So as the number 3 seed, Coalfield would have to travel to Hancock County. That is an awful trip. It's terrible. But look, Hancock County is 3-6 on the season.
Yeah, Hancock County traditionally hasn't had a lot of success, and this, anytime the region matchups, Coalfield region, Oliver Springs regions, has always dominated that. With exception being Cloudon. Cloudon usually always dominates that region and usually has a very tough team. So it'll be interesting to see how all that shakes out. But Hancock County is forever away in a small area. So
terrible trip.
It's a terrible trip.
You want to win this game so you don't have to make that trip.
Yeah, what an environment at Coalfield, first round playoff at home. That would have been awesome. So Oliver Springs is going to have that. This Oliver Springs community will surround this ball club. We'll pull out everybody, and this will be a heck of an environment for the first round of the playoffs.
All right, so Oliver Springs has it 3rd and 4. Just trying to end this game as we approach 3 minutes left to go in it.
And the producer, Brad Jones, just wrote a note over here saying that Cloudon had a coaching change mid-season. I wasn't even aware of that. That could be a major impact as to why Cloudon hasn't had the success as recent years.
Gavin Hill with the carry there will bring up 4th down for Oliver Springs.
Still a continued steady flow of rain coming down. And I tell you, I can't get a good view of the Coalfield sidelines, but this Oliver Springs sideline has about 2 to 3 inches on the sideline, and every coach and player on that sideline, their shoes are soaked. So there's going to be a lot of moms staying up late tonight doing a lot of laundry, moms and dads.
The coaches don't do the laundry for the players. They should.
They should, but look, all that stuff that they're wearing underneath there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's single A football. It's hard to afford a washer and dryer.
Crace lets it fly and almost completes the pass. As that time it's trying to find Bailey Russell. You remember we had Oliver Springs in week 3 when they played Kingston, and Bailey Russell had a monstrous game.
Yes, he did. He's an absolute stud, one of the better athletes around. And Oliver Springs has really turned it up here tonight. And I tell you, Larry Green has showed so much confidence in that quarterback, Crass, tonight, letting him throw the football. That's huge for this football team moving forward. I tell you, this Oliver Springs team, if they can start having success in the throw game, they could be a dangerous team in the playoffs.
So Coalfield, Austin Hensley on the carry, something you don't see every down.
Big Austin Hensley, he's a heck of a ball player. Coalfield's got players all over the field, and Austin Hensley, I believe he had, let's see, before tonight he had 5 carries for 25 rushing yards, so they're getting him some carries here tonight.
Now I'll tell you what's bad about losing this game, and that is the fact that even if you go on the road and win, your second-round opponent is likely Greenback.
It likely is, and that's not the matchup you wanted. That's why the emphasis was on getting the win here tonight versus Coalfield or Oliver Springs, because nobody wants to run across Greenback.
Nobody.
Holden Willis just picked up a Mississippi State offer. He's the real deal, and look for a couple more SEC programs late to start popping in on that recruitment as well. So Greenback's a real deal. They've got a stud quarterback over there, and nobody in single-A football is wanting to run across them right now other than South Pitt.
South Pitt. Under a minute to play in this one. Oliver Springs has scored 20 points off of Coalfield turnovers. McKinney throws it out wide. That goes to Foster. Foster gets it ahead. Good pickup of about 8 yards on the play. Of course, he'll be short, which will bring up 4th down. And now Coalfield doesn't have to run another play, and I don't really expect them to.
No, I don't. With 25 seconds left on the clock, it looks like Oliver Springs is going to snap the 7-game win streak that Coalfield has had over them. As producer Brad Jones just told me, that's impressive. So Larry Green really turned this program around and trying to have a major impact on this program, and he has. He's developed this. They were struggling heavy, and they promoted him from the Oliver Springs middle school ranks, and he's had a heck of an impact here. Started winning a lot of ball games, and when you beat Coalfield 27-0, that's a huge win for this Oliver Springs program, and that'll have a lasting impact until next year.
So Oliver Springs breaks that 7-game losing streak to Coalfield, which is the longest winning streak for either team in this series history, and gets the win tonight in impressive fashion. A 27-0 shutout in just a gully washer here.
This is a classic, and I will remember this game for a long time, as will these kids. It's a heck of a game, and this is one of the last games for these, or this is the last game for the Oliver Springs seniors in the regular season. So their season's starting to come to an end for the playoffs. So it's a really good game here tonight. We was wanting to see Coalfield have some more success offensively. We wasn't quite expecting a 27-0 win by Oliver Springs, but either way, it's a really good game.
Just couldn't get anything going on this wet field, and Oliver Springs moves to 7-2 on the year. Coalfield to 6-3, and this was a big one because Oliver Springs now has won that 2nd seed for the TSSAA playoffs, and they will get a first-round home game here in a couple weeks when the playoffs start.
Huge environment. That's huge for this program, and like I said earlier, this community. They'll have all stops out here. These bleachers will be full, and that will help them in the playoffs, having this game here in Oliver Springs.
So the Brady Bowl this year goes to Oliver Springs. We'll have some analysis and some stats for you. But first, let's take a timeout. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. Oliver Springs has scored 20 points.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent. And the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
Post-game coverage of the Oliver Springs Bobcats and Coalfield Yellow Jackets game brought to you by OEB Law. And OEB Law been along with us all season long. So glad to have them on board as a sponsor. And Tim Elrod got out in the rain with his $1,000 check, presented it to Oliver Springs High School. And it's so special to be able to see our sponsor, the guy that helps put us on the air, to help out the communities and the schools that we cover.
Yeah, OEB Law, you know, I work in the criminal justice field, and they're known through every judge and lawyer throughout the East Tennessee, state of Tennessee. So if you're needing any type of help, please give OEB a phone call, and they will help you out with basically anything that you need. It's a great thing they do here, bringing the sports to you. A lot of you that's watching at home, you couldn't make it out tonight due to the rain, and he brought that broadcast to you. You basically bought your ticket to the game. So make sure you let them know that we thank them a lot.
And if they can't help you, they'll find you an attorney that can.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as simple as that. So tonight's game ends with Oliver Springs winning on the scoreboard 27-0. And we've got some stats to provide for you now, as Oliver Springs had 10 first downs to Coalfield's 3. And that right there should show you where the rest of these stats are going. Rushing yards, Oliver Springs on the ground, 175 to Coalfield's 41. Passing yards, just 39, but some of those were a touchdown pass, as Blake Crace was money tonight with that wet football. And Coalfield ends up with 9 total yards, 214 to Coalfield's 50. And then the big one, 3 turnovers. And 3 Coalfield turnovers led to 20 points for Oliver Springs. So you have to think, with as wet and ugly as this game was, if Coalfield doesn't turn the ball over, then this score might be 7-0.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. So this rain had a major impact on this, and if these two can potentially link up in the playoffs, you talk somebody can squeak by Greenback. So yeah, it's a difference maker here tonight. Coalfield didn't respond too well to the atmosphere that we had here tonight. A lot of rain and a lot of mental mistakes by the Coalfield program. So they'll get on the game film and do a lot of coaching and teaching, and I see them continuing to have a really good run in the playoffs.
So rain, we talked about it in the pregame. We knew it was going to be a factor tonight, and it absolutely was a factor tonight, as it slowed down what Coalfield was trying to do, helped Oliver Springs because what they do is good for rain games anyway. But around the area, this rain it just now started coming down even harder than it was, and so the Oliver Springs players are celebrating by sliding in the mud on the sidelines. See if we can get a visual of this. Look at that. Dive! Pete Rose slide. And having fun with that is Devin Hester.
Well, guys, I want to mention real quick, the Oliver Springs offensive line did a really good job tonight, but the quarterback and the running back, they took over the game tonight for Oliver Springs. But Coalfield, I was really impressed with Daniel Scar, Seth Lau, Austin Hensley. Austin Hensley, your uncle Russ says hello, and he's proud of you. But I tell you, Coalfield, they've got a lot of players on that team. A lot of true athletes and true football players that will learn from this loss and move forward from this and have a good playoff run. Oliver Springs, I'm really impressed with. We've been impressed with them both times this year. So
yeah,
look for them to make a lot of noise here at Oliver Springs this year in the playoffs.
This is a team that very well potentially could and maybe even should end up in the quarterfinals against Greenback.
They really could, and that is a matchup that Oliver Springs is dying to get.
Yeah.
After what Greenback did to them over there, scoring a lot of points on them, throwing the ball late.
Throwing it late in the game. You never want to see that. Greenback ends up getting the 50-0 shutout against Oliver Springs, but like you said, up late in that game, throwing the football, and it's a bad look.
It's bad football. I mean, I don't care who you are. And some coaches will say, it's my job to score, your job to stop me.
Yeah.
But this is the South. We don't play that much around here. And there's a lot of pride in these communities. So a lot of these coaches, they'll let off the gas a little bit. Some won't. And the ones that won't usually will catch payback at some point.
And you see that shot right there as that rain is falling. Now, we've got the 5-star preps Friday night scoreboard show coming on after we go off the air, and we are going off the air shortly. But I want to spoil something from David Queener and Jonathan Cox, and I hope they're not mad at me for this, but Central goes down tonight. First loss of the season. South Doyle takes care of business 31-10. And so you talk about this rain and what it does, and I bet you, and I don't know, I'm sure we'll hear it, but I'm sure Elijah Young went off tonight.
He did, and Aaron, I said it earlier, I've been saying it all year long, he's one of the best running backs in the Southeast. I think he's severely underrated as a prospect. He's going to Missouri, which is, it broke my heart. I was hoping to see Tennessee come in late with an offer, and he went on with Missouri. So I'm sure his stats were just insane tonight in the rain.
Want to thank all of our sponsors tonight, and one last time want to give a shout out to Harvey's Furniture, because we know two names in Oliver Springs you can trust are Harvey's Furniture and Jameson Bedding. And Jameson's been in the bedding business since 1883, and Harvey's Furniture served the community since 1948. All sizes of bedding in stock, and be sure to see the amazing latex foam rubber beds. When it comes to bedding, you can trust Jameson and Harvey's Furniture. Harvey's Furniture in downtown Oliver Springs. Closing thoughts on this one, James Gibson. Keith Henry, getting his shoes. Tell me what you told your team tonight.
We gotta respond better to adversity. We're used to winning a lot of ball games, so we gotta hold our head high and not get used to losing, but handle losing better. We got a lot of corrections to make in the coaching room, and they'll have their hands full this week. I'd hate to be a Coalfield player this week of practice, but it'll be good for them. They got to learn a lot of learning to do and a lot of corrections to make up. Oliver Springs. Hey, what else can you say but great job. Let's get healthy. Let's take the weekend off here, watch a lot of game film and prepare for next week and a home game in the playoffs. That's what you look for.
All right, so you heard it from Coach James Gibson himself. Big win tonight for Oliver Springs, getting the shutout victory over Coalfield, 27-0. And I tell you what, this is something we never do, but Coach Larry Green has just walked up to the press box. We're going to take a moment and talk to the victorious coach tonight. So Coach Green takes his wet hat off, puts on the headset. So Coach Green, Coalfield wins the toss. They feel good about receiving the football. They get it. They fumble on that opening drive. Landon Gallion picks that thing up and scampers to the end zone. And at that point, you just feel this rush of energy from Oliver Springs, the fans, and the players. What were you thinking when you saw that fumble return for a touchdown?
Well, just a great play by our defense there. I don't know who stripped it out or how the ball got on the ground, but Landon timed it right, scooped it up and scored. Kind of set the tone for the game and really broke. Usually we win the toss, we take the football, but Coach Barry Brown always said let the other team handle the ball first on a wet field. So it's true.
Well, it definitely paid off in your favor tonight. You scored 27 points. 20 of those came off turnovers. Was that something, when you got those turnovers, is that something you stressed to your team is like, hey, they gifted us this, we've got to take advantage of it here?
Well, we just wanted to score, put the ball in the end zone. last year we were inside the red zone, inside the 10 3 times, came away with no points, so we just wanted to finish our drives tonight.
All right, another question for you is Coalfield, this big rivalry. They've won 7 in the series, but you go back and you coached a lot of these kids now that are juniors and seniors on this team. You coached them in middle school, had a lot of success with those players. Is that something that you're preaching to them, like, hey, listen, Coalfield's got this history. This is a big rivalry between all of us. They've had the success in the past, but you guys are winners. We've all been winners together, so let's turn this on its cheek.
Well, the seniors that I got now, they were 6th graders my last year in middle school, so, they were freshmen my second year, but a great group of seniors. Blake Crace, a 3-year starter at quarterback.
And mechanics just keep it going around the right
Those guys
side.
have been starting since they were sophomores. They were leaders as sophomores. So I'm just so proud for this senior group to get the win over Coalfield, and hopefully we can secure a home playoff game. That's something that they hadn't had in their career. So looking forward to Midway next week. Hopefully come out of there with a win and get to host a playoff game.
So Trey Boswell ran the ball very well tonight, but so did Gavin Hill. And Blake Crace played an amazing game. Wet field, you normally, you're going to keep it on the ground as much, play possession football, but Crace with that wet football was money tonight.
Yes, he was, and then, had a couple of drops there too. But first half, before the field got so bad, we knew they were going to pack it in on us, so we knew we had to, throw the football down the field to get them a little bit loosened up, and fortunate enough to get some completions that went our way.
And then here is that play that just opened everything up as Gallion scoops that thing up and takes it to the end zone. And, buddy, that set the tone for the rest of the game. You come out in the second half, and the rain has just turned this field to mush.
Oh, yeah.
So at that point, was it a possession football game? Were you just trying to protect that lead on this wet field?
Well, no. With Peyton McKinney and Seth Lau, the weapons they've got, and Van Witzenberg, we know they're capable of scoring points in a hurry. So, our goal was to, first off, we figured they would onside it the second half. They didn't. We wanted to recover the ball, maintain possession, and then punch another one in, and worked out that we did. Trey broke a great run there, broke a couple of tackles, and, that's the way we wanted to start the third quarter with a score on the possession there.
Well, Coach, this is a big win, 27-0 against Coalfield. I know it feels good. So have fun, enjoy this one with your players, and good luck next week against Midway.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
And that is Coach Larry Green as you see that replay of that touchdown pass. Beautiful back shoulder throw from Blake Crace, and Oliver Springs picks up the victory 27-0. So huge win tonight for the Oliver Springs Bobcats on their home field. So that's how we're going to wrap up our coverage. Again, stay tuned for the 5-Star Preps High School or Friday night scoreboard on BBB TV Channel 12 for James Gibson. I'm Aaron Harvey. And join your hosts, David Queener and Jonathan Cox, for that one. Good night, everyone.
Also, you're not covered for a rental vehicle, but we gave you an allowance so that you can get to and from and pick up your vehicle. How's that sound?
Sure.
Great, fantastic. If you could sign right here, and then you can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Son, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com. It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rode in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.